rushing touchdowns in the effort.
It is a bright and sunny Saturday afternoon in Fitchburg as football returns to Elliott Field here on FATV. Welcome everyone to the 2024 season of Fitchburg State University football. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bullock. And Dan, it is our first broadcast of the season for the Falcons, but it is not the first game for the Falcons. And if you hadn't already heard, we have wonderful news.
Fitchburg State, for the first time in 2 years, won a football game last Saturday. They broke a 19-game losing streak by taking down the Bulldogs of Dean College by a score of 12-0. Sahir Gomez with a 40-yard touchdown catch, and Emilio Caby, 5 catches for 109 yards, including a all-time record-tying 99-yard touchdown catch in the fourth quarter for insurance to help put the Falcons over the top. Cameron Topkin had 12 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for a loss. Cam Manette named to the D3 Football Team of the Week and named MASCAC Defensive Player of the Week. 11 tackles, 4 sacks, 4.5 tackles for a loss. Great game for the Falcon defense, but they're going to be up against a very tough test today.
They take on the 1-0 Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. Both teams come in undefeated. Dan, savor that. It might be the last time we get to say it this season, but we definitely won't say it about these two teams afterward. Corsairs come in 1-0, as I said, on the season. They defeated Nichols by a score of 64-24 last Saturday. So a rather potent offense for UMass Dartmouth, it should be said.
One of the favorites to win the conference this year. UMass Dartmouth finished in a 3-way tie last year with Bridgewater State and Western Connecticut State for the conference title. They were all 7-1 in conference, but ultimately WestCon got the tiebreaker on superior strength of schedule since they all sort of cycled against each other. But UMass Dartmouth showing they're here to play. 64 against the Nichols College Bison. 470 yards of offense. Dante Avila Santos has been a dominant quarterback for the Corsairs. 20 for 22 for 231 yards, 4 touchdowns. Marvin's Jean, 5 carries for 81 yards and a score. Angel Sanchez, 9 catches, 139 yards. And 11 different Corsairs with receptions. Just another dominant game for UMass Dartmouth. Nichols got some points near the end of that one. They scored 21 in the second half, but still, UMass Dartmouth put up 54 in the first half. And this is a team that's not come up to Fitchburg to mess around.
No, they were second in the MASCAC scoring offensively last year, 34 points per game. Fitchburg State, by contrast, 8.5. Not quite as many. They were last in the conference in points per game. You see Freddie the Falcon giving a little fan a hug there. You'd love to see that. Good crowd in attendance here at Elliott Field, of course, on the campus of Fitchburg State University, not too far from the Wallace Civic Center. Pearl Hill Road is the official address. I just learned that for the first time today. I just knew it was, here. But still plenty of time, folks in Fitchburg, if you want to come on down to Fitchburg State University, Elliott Field. It being the first home game, there are plenty of festivities, there are plenty of concessions, there's a beer garden set up here. It is a wonderful time, as always, to come on down to Elliott Field. But, of course, if you're in Fitchburg and you know someone who is out of town or you simply don't feel like getting off your couch, I totally sympathize with that. You can, of course, watch FATV programming in any of, 27, Dan. It's got to be 27 different ways. Can we come up with 27 unique ways to watch FATV?
I don't have them all written down off the top of my head, but there's so many different ways, though. There's no excuse for
We'd
not
have to cheat a little bit to get to 27, but there's Comcast, Verizon, there's FATV.org, the FATV app available on your Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, and all your smart streaming devices. It is available, is what I'm getting at. FATV.org as well will get you a live stream feed right there. But again, if you are in Fitchburg, we absolutely encourage you to come on down. It's a wonderful day. It's a hot day. Honestly, it is 78 degrees last time I checked, but it is a bright and warm 78, it should be said.
Yep, it's a little steamy. It's a little warm out there, but it's good weather for good football. That's what we're hoping to see in a matter of minutes as these two teams take to the field for the second time this season.
UMass Dartmouth wearing the white jerseys, yellow pants. They're wearing yellow. The Falcons are wearing gold, even though they're basically the exact same color. I think that's how we're going to call that, right?
Yeah, that's how we'll claim it.
And it will be a new look for the Falcons. brand new home unis.
It's the first time they'll be broken out on the field this year. It'll be the first time in 2 years the Falcons have gold tops. You may remember they first introduced gold tops in the early 2010s in the Garrett Delakiai era. And with that, they found a lot of their best success. So after some years going with green tops primarily, with the old golds coming back out of storage every now and again, this time around they're going to go with the golds as primaries again, and they look quite sharp.
They are striking, the new uniforms worn by the Falcons. You'll see them running out of the tunnel in a moment here. But you mentioned, Dan, those old gold unis were switched to in the Garrett Delakiai. It's been in the Garrett Delakiai era again here at Fitchburg State. A new head coach, Izzy Abraham. And who is the offensive coordinator for these Falcons? Well, I may have spoiled it. It's Garrett Delakiai.
I did joke about it a few months ago when we last met, off air, of course, that the Falcons had some of their best success with Garrett Delakiai being part of the program. So now that he's back with the program, well, you can say, one game, one win already, so it's already seeing instant dividends.
Dividends on the offensive side of the ball with the big plays last week, but the defense as well, pitching a shutout on the road at Dean. Very impressive for a Falcon unit that allowed over 38 points per game last season. That was 8th out of 9 in the MassCAC.
The Falcons have been fortunate to return a lot of players, but we also saw some good contributions from new Falcons, such as Dexter Brown Jr. and Grant McCose. And for the Falcons, that 12-0 victory, that shutout, first time since October 10th, 2015, that the Falcons shut out an opponent, and the first time they recorded a shutout on the road since October 21st, 2006.
There you see the brand new look for Fitchburg State. Gold tops, gold pants, the classic green helmets. Prominent numbers, you got to say, on those jerseys. It's going to be easy for us, Dan, I think, to see who's carrying the ball for Fitchburg State. One hopes.
Well, I can tell you at the very least, Albert Onavogie is carrying the sledgehammer out with him onto the field, even threw it one down for good measure.
Got a glance at head coach Izzy Abraham as he took his headset off. There he is, marching down the near sideline, 1-0 as head coach for the Falcons.
Yeah, previously was a coach with American International. He's been in a bunch of different places. He's a relatively young coach, too, in his mid-30s. This is his first head coaching job.
I did a double take when I saw that this head coach graduated college after I did. 2012 graduate of Endicott. My goodness, Daniel. It's almost as if we're getting old.
A funny thing to think about, too, while he was a player at Endicott, during most of his time as a player at Endicott, Fitchburg State's head coach was Paul McGonigal. And now, in the present day, in the year 2024, as we have an Endicott grad as the head coach of the Falcons, the head coach of Endicott is Paul McGonigal.
Fitchburg.
I was going to say, one thing I'm curious about with the coin toss, how many captains will UMass Dartmouth send out for the coin toss? Because on their roster, they have 8.
8 captains. I mean, it sounds like a lot of captains, but also there are just a lot of players on their roster. I think I counted 84 made the trip. There's another dozen or so who are listed and didn't dress. But 84 players coming down from UMass Dartmouth looking to extend their season record to 2-0. You see there the Falcon captains from left to right. You've got Cam Minette, Matty Aguirre, number 23. 2 is Jordan Cummings. Cam Topkin wearing number 0, and then a gentleman with very long hair.
That would be Elijah Zaire McKnight with the number 3 that you can only barely see.
And one thing to keep an eye on for the Falcons, Easy McKnight, a defensive player this year. He's been playing cornerback.
Had 7 tackles last week in the game against Dean. Looked very solid in the corner position as Dean was held to just 171 yards of offense.
Arrived on our campus this summer, bringing her passion, vision, and experience to the role. Also, please welcome team captains representing the visiting Corsairs. Number 74, Tyler Gimmer. Number 62, Colby Stockwell. Number 5, Angel Sanchez. Number 6, Dante Avila Santos.
You mentioned 8 captains,
number 45,
Dan. I see
Sam
4
Alisea,
up at the top and 4
number
coming
1,
down
Logan
for the coin
Chappelle,
toss.
representing the Falcons. Number 3, Easy
bringing
McKnight.
8 to the
Number
toss
2,
itself
Jordan
would be a
Cummings.
bit overkill, but all
Number
8 of them
23,
will enter the
Matty
confines
Aguirre.
of the playing surface.
Number 0, Cameron Topkin.
And you saw
And
new
number
President
97,
Dr. Donna
Cam
Hodge,
Monette.
who's going to help assist with the coin toss today. The brand new president of Fitchburg State University.
Dr. Robert Hines, of course, doing the public address announcement here at Elliott Field. A tremendous job, as always, by Dr. Hines. And I'm not just saying that because he put together a nice little intro video that features both of us, although I'm saying that in part because of that. Thank you for that, Dr. Hines. That's very nice.
Also, of such a high level, got the honors to do PA at Polar Park.
That's right. He's a talented man.
He is. Referee Christopher Haddad shows the players the coin, and now Dr. Hodge will flip it up in the air, and we'll get the verdict.
Falcons have won the toss, indicating that the fix is in. I mean, come on. The president of their university flips it, and they win. Come on. Falcons won and deferred, so we will see the powerful UMass Dartmouth offense take the field first. Fitchburg State will kick right to left. We are just about ready for our opening kickoff.
And elected to defer to the second half. UMass Dartmouth will receive the opening kickoff at this end.
First home game of the season here at Elliott Field. Fitchburg State comes in 1-0, but with a tough task ahead of them. Can the Falcons extend or create, I suppose, a winning streak? There's only one way to find out. Stick with us here on FATV. Dan and I will step aside. We will have the national anthem, but it is Falcon football here on College Football Saturday on FATV.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand if you are able as we honor the United States of America with the playing of our national anthem.
Fitchburg State University football here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Dan Bolak as we get ready for opening kickoff of the first Falcon home game of the season. Fitchburg State taking on the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. Both teams come in with a record 1-0 on the season. If you're just joining us, Fitchburg State won the toss and deferred, so they will start on defense. Here you see Corsair head coach Josh Sylvester. He's in his second season as the head man at UMass Dartmouth. 15th season with the program in general, though.
Graduate of Babson College, who does not sponsor football, so you don't see that too often. Yeah, longtime member of this Corsair coaching staff. So he's able to bring that continuity. And that first season, 9-2 under him, went to a New England Bowl game.
Jonah Costa ready to do the kicking for Fitchburg State. And we are underway. It is a short end-over-end kick. Fair catch called for and made at the Corsair 38-yard line. 22 for UMass Dartmouth is Makai Wilson making the fair catch. Pretty good field position for the Corsairs. They'll start off this game 1st and 10. Actually, they're going to spot that at the 42.
Please set the
pretty
game clock
generous
to
there.
15 minutes. Please set the game clock to 15 minutes. Please set the game clock to 15 minutes.
So with the fair catch, the clock doesn't run. But now here's the first play we'll see from UMass Dartmouth in this contest.
Motion to the near side comes Jalen Aponte. He'll set up in the backfield and take the handoff, bounces out to the left side. Decent blocking, gets across the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. Gain of a couple before he's brought down. I think we're going to say a lot of this for the Falcons. Easy McKnight in on the hit, joined as well by Dexter Brown Jr. Second down and 8. Quick pass. Tried and turned the corner on the near side. That's Angel Sanchez. First of those mistakes today, senior from Providence, Rhode Island.
Alex Moses being the other 5, he's a kicker, and Angel Sanchez 139 yards on 9 catches. That is a catch with the shovel pass forward. And it's a solid gain on second down, a 3rd and manageable for the Corsairs.
First completed pass of the day for Dante Avila Santos. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast he had a tremendous game last week. Now 3rd down, handoff straight up the middle. That's Aponte again. Gets into Falcon territory, gets enough to move the chains. It'll be a first down for UMass Dartmouth.
Just need a few for the first down. Corsairs were 4 for 9 on 3rd down last week. And Aponte just knew what he needed to do there, got the yardage, got the first.
Corsairs have gone exclusively from the shotgun here on their first possession. Avila Santos looks to his left, throws to his left, pass is caught. Beautifully thrown ball right into the hands of, that's Angel Sanchez again with the reception.
Here Quachet had the tackle there, diving out there to knock down Sanchez, and if he doesn't get his shoes there, Sanchez could have been off for a lot more than just what he got.
Sanchez will come in motion here on first down. Handoff up the middle. Good blocking by the Corsair offensive line. Good second effort running as well. Tremendous work by Jalen Aponte. They're going to give him another first down. Corsairs are hurrying up to the line. They want to press this advantage while they've got it. They've got a handful of offensive linemen lined up on the far side.
They try the swinging gate on this 1st and 10.
Now comes in motion, pitch pass forward to him. Try to turn the corner. Fitchburg State has good preparation on defense. Gain of only a couple for Sanchez.
Gain of 4.
Definitely a curious setup. You don't see the swinging gate really in the open play like that. But try the gadget play to switch things up, and then, of course, move the ball, have Sanchez move in the opposite direction. Trying to pull enough Falcon defenders away, but instead just a 4-yard gain.
Second down, 6 now for the Corsairs. Already into the red zone on their first possession. And I think they're going to be set up 1st and goal here. Very close. They will indeed move and then drop the chains. It's another first down for Jalen Aponte.
No Corsair had more than 5 carries last week. Aponte was in 3rd place on the yardage gain with 33 yards, long as 16, but he's found some good yardage on the ground here in Fitchburg.
1st and goal for the Corsairs. Pass to the end zone is caught. Touchdown, UMass Dartmouth. Pitch and catch just like that. Dante Avila Santos to Angel Sanchez.
10-yard touchdown reception.
Corsairs really only had 3 guys touch the ball on that entire drive, Dan.
That's all they really needed there. And Avila Santos just looking, he knew where he was throwing to and trusted that his target and Angel Sanchez was going to get to that spot, pull that in for the touchdown. UMass Dartmouth on the board first.
Extra point attempt will come from the foot of Alex Moses, the other number 5 for UMass Dartmouth. Kick is up and it is no good, wide to the left. 11:41 to play here in the first quarter. We've barely played 3 minutes. UMass Dartmouth 6, Fitchburg State nothing. Sedan, Fitchburg State played their entire first game without conceding any points to Dean, up against a slightly stronger offense. I don't think either team will be insulted by that description. They lasted all of 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the challenge coming in. Is I don't think Dean had a particularly strong offense. It didn't look like they were ever really able to get the wheels going, but they've got UMass Dartmouth a lot more certain about the talent that they have at their disposal. And you can see very comfortable moving the ball downfield. As you said, only 3 different players touched the ball. Avila Santos taking the snaps, whether he was handing it off to Jalen Aponte or whether he was throwing it to Angel Sanchez. That's all he needed to do to make his way downfield and get the first points of the game for the Corsairs.
Having missed the extra point, Alex Moses will now kick off for the Corsairs. Pretty good kick. Bobbled and knocked through the end zone by Peter Quatchett.
Touchback.
Because Quatchett never controlled the football, and it goes through the end zone and out of bounds through there. It becomes a touchback.
Not a great start for the Falcons.
There was a bit of a gust of wind I felt as that ball was getting kicked. But at least the touchback brings it to the 25. It could be a lot worse.
It could have been worse. It could have been worse. They could have ruled that he had it and then lost it. That would have been also bad. Falcon offense comes back out. Rocky Marchitelli will be from the shotgun taking snaps for Fitchburg. Pumps left, now throws over the middle. Pass is picked off. Intercepted for the Corsairs. Mike Henriksen with the pick. Dropped back in the low zone. Marchitelli never saw him.
Sets up Corsair offense, 1st and 10.
Marchitelli didn't start last week against Dean. Came in a bit of relief. Went 2 for 12 with 3 picks. And throwing it right over the middle, just didn't quite read the middle of the field right there, and finding Henriksen, that captain there, with the interception. And so the Falcons' first offensive drive at home lasts all of 1 play.
Quarterback position has been a bit of a question mark for the Falcons. Questions, I think, will continue. Corsairs gifted possession in the Falcon red zone. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Back to pass now, keeping it himself straight up the middle. Dragged down across the 10-yard line. Not quite enough for a first down. No, they will give a first down to Dante Avila Santos.
Also of note, Marvin Jean in the backfield for UMass Dartmouth. He switches in after it was all Aponte to the left of Avila Santos, and that time Avila Santos, seeing the Falcons blowing through the line, putting a little bit of pressure, he saw the hole that opened up and ran through it and got great yardage, now just 6 yards from goal.
1st and goal for the Corsairs, looking to score twice inside the first 5 minutes of this one. Still from the shotgun. It is Jeans in backfield, but it's a fade to the end zone. Pass is high and incomplete. Pretty uncatchable ball. Intended target out that away was Nassim Harrison. Good coverage by Easy McKnight.
That was a ball that probably would have fell in perfectly if he was throwing that from the 11-yard line, but from the 6, just way too much oomph on it.
Now 2nd and goal, they'll try it again. I think he's calibrated his arm. Catch is made, touchdown, Corsairs, just like that. Dante Avila Santos finds Nassim Harrison. Well, Dan, if at first you don't succeed, try again, right?
Yeah, simple as that. They knew what they got wrong the last time, tried the same thing again, and that time found a little more success. Nassim Harrison's got his first touchdown of the season. The junior from East Hartford, Connecticut, will make it 12-0.
It's a pretty obvious mismatch there. You've got the 6'6" Harrison lined up against the 5'9" Easy McKnight. Second extra point of the first quarter from Alex Moses is up and true. So exactly 1 minute after the Corsairs scored their first touchdown, they score a second one. 13-0 UMass Dartmouth here with 10:41 to play in the first. Folks, I promised Fitchburg State won last week. It's a true fact. You can look it up.
Well, one of the differences is, we follow Bill Connolly on Twitter, who keeps track of every college football team. And at the end of last season, beginning of this season, the Falcons were in the stone cold bottom spot.
That's right, 742, I believe, out of
762 at the end of last season, 764 into this season. Dean was only a handful of spots ahead of Fitchburg State in the SP+.
Okay, I'm sorry, hold on. 762 at the end of last season. 764 at the... Did two teams start playing college football and people just assumed they were better? Is that what happened?
Well, yeah.
Dan, I think that's what happened. Anyway, kickoff is fielded this time by Quatchett. Gets across the 10-yard line, not much further than that. He is driven back. Give him the 20 and no further than that. Would have been better as a touchback. Falcons deep in their own territory again as they start their second possession.
So to finish the point I was making, going into the season, Dean was a handful of spots ahead of Fitchburg State in that ranking system. UMass Dartmouth's about 250 spots ahead.
Well, that's a bit of a difference. Just a bit.
Bit of a power gap.
Two backs in the backfield for Fitchburg. Marchitelli will go from the shotgun. Handoff up the middle on first down. Really not much doing there. Driven back at the line of scrimmage was Matty Aguirre.
Short gain of the play.
They didn't go to the two-back set very often, but definitely operated primarily out of the shotgun last week against Dean College. That time trying to put both Matty Aguirre and Oreo Kite Fatoki in the backfield. But the Falcons also have struggled at times to gain yardage on the ground. They had one really good run last week, but most of them they're held to a handful of yards.
2nd and 9 for the Falcons. Corsairs bring a bit of pressure. This time it's Fatoki on the carry. He's able to turn the corner, get out to at least the 24-yard line. Bit of a positive gain for him, but still it'll be 3rd and long for Fitchburg State.
Fatoki's been working hard this offseason, the former Worcester Tech Eagle, one of several on this Falcon squad. Bouncing out to the left side, finding a bit of room there. The hole quickly closes up. Ultimately, give him just to the 23.
37.
So 3rd down and 7 now for Fitchburg State. Rocky Marchitelli threw a pick on his first pass. You got to think this is a passing down for Fitchburg. Instead, it's a handoff to Aguirre, and he is swallowed up in the backfield. All the gain that Fatoki got on 2nd down, Aguirre is forced to give back on 3rd. Just great penetration by the D-line of UMass Dartmouth. I think the first one to get there was Jackson Wellman. See him there, heading to the sideline after a successful 3 and out. Hunter Sands will come on to kick it away for Fitchburg State. Yes, indeed, folks, that is Hunter the punter. His kick is away, end over end. Taken in at about the 46-yard line of the Corsairs, immediately returned into Falcon territory.
Hunter Remington with that punt return.
It's Hunter Remington on the return.
Or Kyrese Codio.
Hunter Remington's listed as a wide receiver and Codio's a D lineman, so
yeah,
I would guess it's Remington.
Remington would be the better option then, because now I just remembered that Codio is 290 pounds.
Listen, it's hard to judge from a distance. We only have cameras. I don't think that guy weighs 290 pounds. I'm a guy who weighs more than 290 pounds, so I can say that. 3rd possession of the game for the Corsairs. 2nd that starts in Falcon territory. 1st and 10 UMass Dartmouth at the Fitchburg 42. Handoff goes to the right side. Not much there for Kevin Brown.
third different running back for the Corsairs. Quickly
back up to the line, they'll do it again. Brown again, this time to the right side.
I just got myself cut off basically by the snap coming there because of how quickly UMass Dartmouth was working there, but they go with Kevin Brown again, going to that right side, just getting to the flank. Got a few yards on that one before he's wrapped up by 3 for Falcons.
This time the pitch rather than the handoff, just try to get him off that right side tackle a little bit quicker. 4 wide receivers. Flags fly at the snap. Pass to the left side is jumped and caught rather. Easy for me to say, touchdown UMass Dartmouth, at least provisionally.
The sentiment up here is that this was going to be a free play offside against the Falcons. We'll get the call from our referee.
The result of the play is a touchdown. Offside defense, number 17. That penalty is declined.
Thomas Zednick, the senior receiver from Johnston, Rhode Island, with the catch and run. We'll see here on the replay, Dan, there was a Falcon D-back. I think it was Easy McKnight. Just went up and misjudged it. Tried to jump the route, but instead he left his receiver wide open.
That height difference there, Zednick is 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Moses' extra point is again no good. So if there's one thing not working for UMass Dartmouth, Dan, it's that their extra point kicker is 1 for 3. But when you're halfway through the first quarter and you can say that your extra point kicker is 1 for 3, I think you'll take that.
I think so. He was 7 for 8 last week. Also had a field goal of what was allegedly 83 yards, but was in reality a programming error.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think that's false. I don't want to malign the work and the effort that goes into the creation of these stat sheets. I know you've put a lot of work into this. I think you messed that up.
I think UMass Dartmouth's stats program messed that up.
Even better. Even better.
It's funny, you even look in the game log, you look at where the kick is coming from. I think what happens is they want you to type in manually how many yards the field goal was. And I think the 8 got entered before the 3 did.
Right. Okay.
And then I just copy and paste the stats that I'm giving. And, they
garbage
say...
in, garbage out.
That's the old programming adage. Trust me when I talk about programming, I have 2 degrees in it.
Both of them from this school.
How about that?
Kowalczyk gets another opportunity on the kickoff return, and he is swallowed up just as he crosses the 20-yard line. Falcon offense will come back out on the field.
Not a whole lot of fanciness coming on that kick return, just trying to go up that far side and just swallow up after 15 yards.
Back to either side of Marchitelli. Handoff goes to Oreo Wikite Fatoki on first down. He gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage.
I think that's all they're going to give him on that one. I wonder if the Falcons are a little spooked. That first play from scrimmage earlier in this contest, a pass over the middle that was intercepted. Since then, it's been 4 consecutive runs. And nothing more than 3 yards thus far either.
Spooked might be the word, but at some point, Dan, you've got to open up this Corsair defense. You've got to make them respect your willingness to throw the ball. The only way to do that is what they're doing here. They got to throw it. Pass to the near side is incomplete. Looks like he was trying to hit Emilio Caby.
Emilio Caby was the intended receiver.
Caby, of course, the freshman from Boston.
Caby was the lead receiver last week, had 5 catches.
Caught that 99-yarder for the Falcons' second touchdown. That pass just a little bit too far for him to reach for.
Falcons only had 7 completions last week. Caby had 5 of them, and then Brendan Cohen and Sahir Gomez each had 1.
Aguirre is the lone back to the right side of Marchitelli. Trip receivers bunched to the near side. Handoff to Aguirre trying to run behind those receivers. He turns the corner. He's across the 30, the 40. Manny Aguirre is out of bounds at about midfield. Biggest play of the day for Fitchburg gives them a Falcon first down. Fitchburg State desperately needed a big play, Dan, and they got one here.
Last week, the Falcons' first down came on a big run by Matty Aguirre. That was on a fake punt. This time was on a play that everybody thought was going to be a pass, but instead was a run to Aguirre. He just got out to that near side boundary and ran for big yardage.
They spot him out right at the midfield stripe. Give it to him again on first down. This time he just plows through the line, lowers his shoulder, gets another couple of yards after hit. It's a gain of 3 for Matty Aguirre.
Aguirre is a player who's played in so many different positions during his time at the university. He was a tight end, a wide receiver, has played as a defensive back, now working as a running back. He switched to that position late last year and found some success, was actually the leading runner for the Falcons last season.
Second down 7, Aguirre will try the right side, cuts it back upfield, he's got another first down. Great ball carrier vision from Matty Aguirre. That was a designed run to the right, but he saw the hole open up and immediately cut upfield and hit it. Take a look at the replay.
See, that's good line work there. Great blocking by the Falcons' right side.
Tremendous work. The center, the right guard just opening up that hole. And you see there as we zoom in the beautiful shot from high above Elliott Field. The scissor lift has backed on FATV. You love to see it. First down Falcons, this time run to the near side is blown up in the backfield. They tried Aguirre one more time, but this time there were a couple of Corsairs in the backfield there to meet him.
Josh Lacert had that hit.
Just blown up immediately. Give Josh Lacert credit for the tackle. But it must be noted that Eli Matthews was there as well. It's a loss of 5, second down and 15 now for Fitchburg State.
With how effectively UMass Dartmouth blew through the line, there was no way the Falcons were getting anything positive out of that.
Marchitelli tries a jump ball to the right side. Leaping catch is made but out of bounds. Incomplete, intended for Sahir Gomez. He came down with the ball, but he came down out of bounds. Take another look here. He goes up. Yeah, he is totally out of bounds. No part of his body was within the playing field. Just a little bit too far for him. It was a really, really impressive catch, but unable to come down in bounds. So now third down and 15 for Fitchburg State. Marchitelli under pressure, rolls to his left, looks across his body, he'll take it himself, across the 40, 35, lunges forward. He's gonna be close to the line to gain. I think they'll spot him a couple yards short. But there's the improvisational skill of Rocky Marchitelli. We saw a little bit of this before his injury last year, Dan. Good to see him being mobile again here.
His injury, of course, came against UMass Dartmouth at UMass Dartmouth on a similar play that you saw 2 plays ago with 2 Corsairs blowing straight through the line and taking down Marchitelli before he had a chance. This time, you can see as he starts to roll out, he realizes he's got a good opportunity to tuck and run and get good yardage there, 13 yards, and brings up 4th and a manageable 2.
Looked like it was going to be a punt for Fitchburg State, but now 4th and 2 in the maroon zone. Go for it is the call. They'll try a run with Aguirre to the left side. It's going to come down to the spot. He needed to get to the 29. A flag comes in well after the play.
I saw the near side official pointing to move the sticks. I think he was going to be satisfied with the first down anyway, picked up there by Fatoki. So they switched up the running back for 4th down, but the penalty flag could also give it to them in the end of the day.
I think it was Kevin Vieira for the Falcons who was signaling that, saw him getting up and gesturing for the flag as it was in the air.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 44. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Jackson Wellman, the 5th-year linebacker from Taunton, guilty of unnecessary roughness after Fitoki is brought down. You see there, Vieira's just kind of finishing his, honestly, okay, right there. Up until that shove, I didn't see anything. It was just, football players getting tangled up and falling over one another. But then as they're getting up, Wellman took exception to the way Vieira had fallen on him, basically, gave him a little shove. And I think that extra shove is what prompted the official to throw the flag.
So if it wasn't going to be a first down after that run, it became a first down after the penalty.
1st and 10 Falcons at the UMass Dartmouth 15. First time Fitchburg State is threatened here in this first quarter as they look to get back within 2 scores. Fitoki, the ball carrier, tried the left side. Good second effort by him. He's finally stood up and driven down after a gain of about 3.
Also, amazingly, this is the first play the Falcons have run in the red zone this season, as their 2 touchdowns were from 40 and 99 yards out. The closest they'd gotten was to about the 28-yard line last week against Dean.
It'll be 2nd down and 8 after a gain of 2 for Oreo Fitoki. He'll stay in the backfield with Aguirre. Play clock down under 10. Falcons still don't really know the play. Now Aguirre will come up and set up as a tight end. Marchitelli back to pass, throws to the left side, leaping, caught, but again out of bounds.
Marchitelli's pass falls incomplete.
That pass was intended for Deshaun Curtis. Graduate student transferred from Brevard, but he is out of bounds, well out of bounds.
From Fayetteville, North Carolina. I have a sibling who was born there.
So now 3rd down and 8 for Fitchburg. Got to think this is 4-down territory for the Falcons. We'll try a pitch to Fitoki to the right side.
Fitoki, the ball carrier,
Gets through the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. Gain of a couple, it'll be 4th and 6 for Fitchburg. Dan, do you remember when some idiot said that this was definitely going to be 4-down territory for Fitchburg State? Well, here comes the field goal team.
Chappelle and Alisea combined for the Corsairs hit. 4th down Falcons.
I was going to say Falcons feeling a little more confident with the leg of Jonah
Costa.
Costa.
And the field goal unit on.
It will be a 30-yard field goal. Ball will be held and spotted right at the 20-yard line.
20-yard line.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, it's long enough, and it is no good.
Kick is no good.
Had the leg, wasn't quite straight enough. Falcons get their best offensive possession of the day, but it comes to nothing as Costa misses the field goal, and it remains 19-0 in favor of the Corsairs.
Costa had 1 kick last week, an extra point that also was pushed wide right.
The leg strength is there, but it's always difficult for a D3 program, especially one positioned such as Fitchburg State. You take what you can get, and something to work on as the season progresses. Corsairs will take over, 1st and 10 at their own 20. And goes in motion toward the far side, handoff up the middle. Met at the line and driven back again. Looks like it was Kevin Brown again on the carry for the Corsairs. Gain of about a yard for him. And UMass Dartmouth will have 2nd and 9 as this first quarter of action winds down. Brown in the backfield, sets up to the right of Dante Avila Santos. Pass goes to the left side, and it is swatted down. Batted away by Easy McKnight. They were trying to hit Angel Sanchez again.
Broken up by Easy McKnight.
One of the reasons why they put McKnight on defense there was that so he can try to make some athletic plays. I think maybe another thing thinking about is how he's dealt with injuries his last few years.
Pass to the right side on third down. Caught, catch is made, rumbling downfield. A nice big gain for Jalen Kopecky, senior from Warren, Rhode Island.
Pass complete to Jalen Kopecky. First down yardage on the play.
Kopecky, a tight end
from their own 36.
for the Corsairs. Now on first down, another handoff to Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown, the ball carrier.
Corsairs really like to press the advantage when they think they've got it.
Had the hit for the Falcons.
They're hurrying up again. Falcons have to make sure they get the guy off the field. They didn't do it. It'll be Brown again. I think Fitchburg got away with having too many men on the field there.
Jordan Cummings with the Falcon hit.
But it's a good gain for Brown. Corsairs must like going left to right. They want to line up for another one. Second down and about 4. Now pass to the left side. A flag comes down. Another flag from way across the field.
There is a flag
2 flags came from deep in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first flag was a hold. Ethan Deneen was very obviously held and prevented from having a clear path at Avila Santos. He probably could have taken him down if not for that grab, but the second one I can't really speak to.
The side judge on the near side threw his penalty flag all the way across the field to the opposite 35-yard line.
Holding. Defense, number 3. That penalty's declined. First down. That is the end of the first quarter.
Well, I guess the flag that I thought looked obvious wasn't obvious enough to me. So they found some other flag.
It's pretty obvious offensive holding that wasn't called there. But they do call Easy McKnight for holding. Ultimately, the penalty is declined as it is a completed pass to Kopecky. Jalen Kopecky makes his second catch of the quarter, picks up a first down for the Corsairs, and that, Dan, brings us to the end of what has been a very eventful first quarter of action here at Elliott Field.
Boy, just a lot of hectic moving of the ball, especially in that final minute of this quarter. UMass Dartmouth really seemed to want to get another score in before one quarter time.
Corsairs feel like they have an advantage. Honestly, it feels like they have a size advantage at pretty much every facet, Dan. Their offensive line is rather significantly bigger than the Falcons' defensive line. We saw the height advantage come into play with Nassim Harrison lined up against Easy McKnight.
Yeah, and I guess to finish the point that I was going to make with Easy McKnight too, that by putting him in a defensive position, he's not going to be tackled nearly as much as he would be playing as a receiver.
This is true.
Something that could help preserve him and give him more opportunities to play.
Way to keep him on the field, give him a chance to contribute to the team, rather than maybe get a couple dozen plays with the ball and then have to sit out the rest of the season.
Corsairs first and 10.
UMass Dartmouth will now go from right to left. We'll see how they do going in this direction. Avila Santos will go deep to the right side. Battling forward, it's incomplete. They wanted to find Nassim Harrison again, but there was a lot of jostling for that football.
Pass ball is incomplete.
Saw Jordan Cummings, the deep safety, coming over, helping with the double coverage. Georgia State may have gotten away with one there, Dan.
Yeah, I thought there was some grabbing and tugging that I wasn't.
It's one way to describe it. Peter Quacha was basically attempting to waltz with the receiver, so I don't think you can do that, but he got away with it.
Getting the impression they're going to let some jersey grabbing go in this contest.
What's a little jersey grabbing between friends? Or bitter rivals in football? One of those.
Second and 10 from the 34-yard line of Fitchburg State. It's going to be a handoff. Brown looking for an opening. I go around to the left side, make his way to the 25-20-yard line, and he's flushed out of bounds there.
Kevin Brown.
Another good run for the junior from Dorchester.
Gain of about 12 on the play, good for first down yardage.
Biggest gain we've seen so far today. This time they've got Brown running behind Jalen Kopecky.
Corsairs first and 10 from the Falcon 22.
Big guy like that wearing a number like 25, I want to call him a fullback, and that's basically what he was on that play, but he was lined up as and listed as a tight end.
6'4", 270. Really big presence on offense. Now switch up the running back. Go with Jalen Ponte this time. We haven't seen him since the first drive. driving right up the middle, and getting solid yardage to the 14-yard line.
And Dan, you can just see it. You know, the Corsairs offensive line just bulldozing through the Falcons D-line. They really are pressing that size advantage. And that's before you consider, you know, Kopecky again gives them almost a sixth offensive lineman.
Just so much oomph and power to work with. And Kopecky will continue to line up as a tight end. Vila Santos will pull this back, throw to the left. It's going to be caught.
Pass is complete.
And that goes to Jalen
With
Kopecky.
the reception, good for first down yardage.
Kopecky will have his third reception of the season.
Justin Ortega.
And it's going to be goal to go, I think, or close to goal to go for the Corsairs.
That's the third catch today for Kopecky.
Oops.
That's all right. It's rare that I get to catch you on.
11 yards from goal are UMass Dartmouth. The Sticks not taking a break there, 12 yards. Ankles are tough sometimes. There'll be a handoff. Aponte staying on his feet, wrestling with Cummings, making his way into the end zone. Touchdown, UMass Dartmouth.
Jalen Aponte with a 12-yard touchdown run.
Jalen Aponte will get his first touchdown of the season. The senior from Boston makes it 25-0.
This time the hole initially is huge. Aponte's able to build up his momentum. And try as Jordan Cummings might, he was not going to be denied. Aponte just dragged him into the end zone. Now this is going to be Connor McManus on to attempt the extra point.
That's a bad snap. Gets the hold up. Kick is up, and it is through. So despite the dramatics there, the freshman from New Bedford will have his first extra point of his career. It's 26-0.
Alex Moses went 1 for 3 on extra points in the first quarter. Corsairs decide to give Connor McManus a try. He's also the punter. He did have a punt in last week's victory for the Corsairs.
Freshman from Greater New Bedford Regional Vocational Technical High School.
It's a mouthful.
You deal with that in Skills USA. You know, I'm a trade school guy myself, graduate of Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School. Word High is not in the name, contrary to popular belief. The only time we ever get the full name pronounced is basically when we are at Skills USA. It's Monty Tech literally every other time. It's maybe one of the only things that you can think of where you can refer to a school by its nickname on first reference.
You know, sounds about right.
Just say Monty Tech, everybody knows what you're talking about. Moses will boot it away. Strong end over kick. And it's going to be fair caught for. Something I've always suggested would be a great idea. And Emilio Cabe takes in the fair catch, and by rule, the ball will move to the 25-yard line.
Well, if the kickoff return game isn't reliably getting it past the 25-yard line, why not?
They've got pizza and hot dogs, chips.
That's a suggestion I've been making for years for kick returners to do when it's like every single return gets to about the 20 and no farther. It's like at some point just start calling for the fair catch. They will give you to the 25 if you fair catch it before that.
And then you don't have to get hit.
It's a player safety rule, and that's the first time I've seen the Falcons do it, at least at home. 1st and 10, be an end around, and Sean Curtis will take it and try to roll to the right side. The former Brevard Tornado will get a few yards on that.
Tried to run behind the block of Fitoki.
UMass Dartmouth hit. 2nd and 7.
Falcons going back to this 4-wide setup. The shotgun, Rocky Marchitelli, the quarterback. The sophomore from Colorado. Some time in the pocket, rolling to his left now. Now thinking about tucking and running with it. He's able to get out of 2 tackles. A flag will fly. It's a gain of about 5 yards, and maybe the ball came out at the end. But I think Marchitelli was down by that point. But I think the flag is going to moot a bunch of this.
Yeah, this one's coming back, I think. Take a look at it there. You see a Falcon basically tackling a Corsair, holding him down by his jersey. You can't do that. It's against the rules.
Flag came a bit after that, as we see on the replay.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 10. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Well, I said they had been allowing a lot of grabbing to go, but you can't be grabbing face masks like that. And so I'm completely wrong. Instead of about +5, it's plus or -5, -10. It's actually +20.
Jonathan Brightman, senior from Wareham, guilty of the face mask.
Falcons make it all the way now to the 45-yard line. And a fresh set of downs to work with. Throw to the left side. That's going to be caught. Marcelo Giavalos with his first career catch. He's a freshman running back from Merced, California.
Marcelo Avalos.
Shane Mirbot,
with that reception.
first among the Corsairs
2.
with the tackle.
Second and 8.
Dan, we've seen plenty of teams with play sheets or play boards that have signals on them when they're on offense. The Corsairs have one on defense that is very simple, and I like it a lot. We'll talk about it after this next snap.
Second down and 8. To the right of Marchitelli is Orifatoki. He'll take it up the middle, try to drive forward, gets about 2 yards. Give him to the 49.
So instead of these complicated signals and weird indecipherable symbols when you're on offense, which makes sense, the Corsair defense playboard just has a big picture of a football and the words, get it, get the football, get it. It's very simple, and I like it. It's effective. It communicates its message.
Third down and 6 to go. KB looking to the sideline for the play, along with several other Falcons. All the receivers want to know for sure what the play is going to be. All 3 of the Falcon receivers, as I see, are first years with the program. Marchitelli will throw to the left side, and that was
Pass ball's incomplete.
Incomplete to Avalos.
Very low ball.
Avalos, the intended
Nearly
receiver,
thought it was
fourth down.
picked off the ground. We'll take another look at it here. That ball was very nearly intercepted.
Went right through the hands of Jackson Wellman, then bounced on the ground before it could get to Marcelo Giavalos. And then I just looked around for officials, and the one making the signal was the one not in my line of sight.
So the Falcons do get some yardage, aided by the personal foul, but they'll kick it away here.
Hunter Sands ready to kick it to Hunter Remington. One Hunter to another. A solid strike. And it's fair caught for out of bounds, probably by Dante Avila Santos. He's very happy he was able to catch that one.
He's excited. He's like, hey, I caught the ball.
I never get to do this.
It's a good thing that a ball was punted, well out of bounds, going that way, right? Because if a kick is booted in that direction, going in the other way, folks in the beer garden are going to have to be head on a swivel. That's not too far away from the action down there. It's a tremendously fun time, I'm sure, and if you're in the area, you should absolutely come on down. Have yourself a only slightly overpriced Miller Lite that I swear is going to a good cause. I just assume they have Miller Lite. They must have Miller Lite. It's a beer garden, for crying out loud.
10:09 to go, second quarter, 26-0 UMass Dartmouth. Vila Santos, Marvin's Gene in the backfield. Gene will take it and make his way out to the far side, and he's on his way to midfield, or he runs out of bounds.
Marvin's Gene, the ball carrier. Nice gain on the play.
He was the lead running back for the Corsairs in terms of yardage, picked up 83 yards last week. And he gets big yardage on first down.
First and 10 for their own 48.
Great blocking by the line and the tight end, just sealing the edge, opening it up for Marvin's Gene to run down the sideline.
Going for the home run pass once Angel Sanchez. Not able to get him. There were 3 Falcons down there, but Sanchez was the only one who could have conceivably caught it.
Sanchez is looking around for a flag. I'm a little surprised there wasn't one as well. Peter Quatchett was running step for step with him and just decided to reach out his hands and drag the receiver to the ground, which, you know, typically is against the rules.
The push comes at the very end there, and the ball's already on its way to the ground, 4 yards overthrown.
That's true.
I'm good with the no flag there.
That's a fair point.
So 2nd and 10 coming here. Corsairs already with 4 scores in this contest, 223 yards of offense to the Falcons 66. De Los Santos going to go for another long pass down the far side this time. That's incomplete.
Pass ball's incomplete.
One to find Jael Cabrera, the junior from Holyoke.
Dan, I don't know if this was a designed play, and it could be nothing, but it could be something to stick a pin in for a future bit of trickeration from the Corsairs. Antonio Brown lined up as the split end on the near side here. Did not run around on that play, like at all. Ball was snapped and he just stood exactly in place.
That's a thought. And there's a pitch and catch by Marvin's Jean on the far side. And you can see that tremendous football ability there by the graduate student from Saugus. Muscling his way down to the 28-yard line of Fitchburg.
From the Fitchburg 28.
I think this should go down as a carry for Jean. Pass went backward.
Now another deep ball to the right side. Battling for it as they spill out of bounds. It is a touchdown.
Touchdown indicated. There is a flag down.
A provisional touchdown for Nassim Harrison. Would be his 2nd of the contest, but we'll have to check the marker.
And again, you see the size mismatch of Nassim Harrison. Just run
The
down.
result of the play is a touchdown. Illegal substitution on the defense, 12 men on the field. That penalty is declined.
So in that case, the Falcons were caught not able to get that last man off the field quickly enough. It was a free play for UMass Dartmouth. They'll happily take results of that play. 2nd touchdown catch of the day for Nassim Harrison makes it 32-0. Connor McManus on to try his 2nd extra point of the contest. Snap down, kick is up, and the kick is through. 9:32 to go, 2nd quarter. UMass Dartmouth's got Larry Legend on their side. The Falcons don't have anything at the moment. 33-0.
It is a bit of a kick in the teeth, Dan, I gotta think, for Fitchburg State. You know, you come in, obviously the players who've been on this team for a while, you've experienced this 19-game losing streak. You go on the road to Dean, first game of the season, first game with your new head coach. You get the 12-0 victory. And look, you didn't look like world beaters in that game. It should be fair. Offense didn't do too much outside of the big plays, but listen, you won 12-0. You scored more points than the other guys. You come home, first home game of the season. Here come the Corsairs, and we're not even halfway through the 2nd quarter, and they're up by 5 touchdowns.
This is always the fear in this particular contest. Falcons take a fair catch again. We'll start from the 25.
And it's not just, although it is, that they're up by 5 touchdowns. It's that they've had the ball 5 times and they're up by 5 touchdowns. It's that they've had the ball 5 times. I'm not entirely sure they've faced 3rd down. I think they have once, maybe.
Oh, they absolutely have 3 times, actually.
3 times.
Converted on all of them.
Well, it goes to show that there is still some ways to go, which you knew, obviously, but, well, it's a reminder.
The computer lines had this as, the computer systems I've seen had this as roughly UMass Dartmouth 40-point favorites. And they are well on their way at the moment. On 1st down, Oriwakite Fatoki bounces off one defender, is able to run forward and get 5 yards to the 30-yard line.
Now, I want to say I'm not the kind of degenerate gambler who would do this, although I did play blackjack in traffic in Connecticut yesterday, which it turns out is a thing you can do. I think I'll take the Corsairs and lay the points at this point.
2nd down and 5 coming for the Falcons. They'll move Aguirre to the tight end position. Leave Fitoki in the backfield. And he will take the ball, try to run to the left side. Got an opening, got 7 yards, got a first down.
Fitoki the ball carrier, gain of about 7, and good for a Fitchburg. First down.
That'll be the Falcons' 5th first down of the contest. They actually only had 7 last week.
And this is what you need to see, Dan, from Fitchburg State. Obviously, the game is quickly falling out of reach if it hasn't already. But for the offense of Fitchburg State, you just want to see contained, sustainable success. Move the ball on the ground, open them up, get some yardage through the air, get some positive development as you try to rebuild here.
Rome wasn't built in a day. It'll be 1st and 10 now after that. Fitoki will have the ball again, go to the right side. Very solid run. Gets him to the 41-yard line.
J.J. Torres had that hit for the Corsairs.
Fitoki just kind of leaping through the small hole in the offensive line there, able to make
2nd and a long 6.
good successful gain out of it. We'll call it 2nd down and a long 6 for Fitchburg. So long that the scoreboard says 7, but I say long 6.
Gonna get just past the 47 for a fresh set of downs. Not exactly to the 47, but just past. Falcons sticking with this shotgun 2-back formation, but now they'll move Fitoki out in the tight end spot. Now Aguirre into the flat, but the ball's just in front of him. He's not able to pick it up quickly enough, and it will fall incomplete. Like the idea, but the execution just didn't show up there.
Yeah, you try what should be a high percentage pass, honestly. Just, swing your back out, try to get him the ball in space. Quarterback's got to deliver the ball, and Marchitelli just, I don't know if it was Aguirre didn't run the route exactly as anticipated or if the ball just wasn't delivered on target, but that should be a high percentage play. That should at least be a completion in space, and then you've got Aguirre, you've got a couple blockers, you can try to make something happen. Instead, now it's 3rd down and 7.
The arm has been a little wild out of Marchitelli. He'll hand it off to Fitoki this time, see if he can get to the marker. Not going to get quite there, but at least to the 46, makes it 4th and interesting.
I almost think, and listen, I don't see the Falcon punt team sprinting to get on the field here. That's the kind of play call that tells me Fitchburg State is thinking about going for it here on 4th down.
Oh, and Dunker in
First charge timeout. First charge timeout. UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah, Fitchburg went straight up to the line, and UMass Dartmouth said, oh, no, you're not doing that. Call the timeout with 7:09 to go in the second. 33-point lead for UMass Dartmouth.
And while we have a moment here, we want to take the opportunity to thank the underwriters who help us bring this game to you. I promise we'll get better at these as the season goes on.
So our FATV underwriters for football coverage: Rollstone Bank and Trust, Acme Carpet One, Leominster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, Minuteman Press, and that's it.
We want to thank all of them. And of course, if you have a business in Fitchburg and you're interested in becoming an underwriter of FATV, just go to fatv.org, get in contact with us. Listen, it's community television, so I don't know if I can say we're open for business, but we're open for business. It's fine. Beautiful thing is that I can't get in trouble. What are they going to do, Doc? My pay? Oh no, John, you did the reads bad. John, we agreed to do these in the first quarter, and you remembered to do them halfway through the second.
Falcons will go for it on 4th and 1 from the 46. Have to get just past the 47. And I saw the defender there, Jackson Wellman, tag one of the O-linemen, so that's not a good sign.
Wellman basically, I think Wellman's foot came in contact with the football as he jumped into the neutral zone. He caused the center to flinch.
Offside. Defense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Listen, I think going for it on 4th down is the right call here. But if you can get the Corsairs to give it to you, well, get the Corsairs to give it to you.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, if you tag an O-lineman and nobody's moved on the O-line first, then you've done a bad thing and you've given up 5 yards. Falcons will happily take that first down by penalty. And they have a fresh set 49 yards from goal. Fatoki will have the carry to the left side, trying to drive into the pile of bodies and push forward, but it's going to be a net negative on that particular run.
Wellman and DeLeon combined for that stop for UMass Dartmouth. 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11 coming now from midfield. Put the nose of the ball right on midfield. 6:30 to go in the first half. 33-point lead. If the Falcons came back and won this game, they would tie the record for the longest comeback in Division III history.
That's the kind of optimism we're looking for.
Run there by Aguirre.
There's always a chance to see history.
Gain of about 2.
As I mentioned, the Falcons were part of it just last week when they tied the longest pass reception in history. 48 times it had been done coming into this season. 4 times last year. Was done twice last week. Once by the Falcons and once by some other team.
Some less important non-Falcon team.
There was another source that credited that one and not the Falcons, so I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah.
Third down and 9 to go. Falcons on third down today are 1 for 6. Marchitelli with some time in the pocket now, rolling to the right. Still thinking about throwing, will dump it off, and right to the ground. Is that picked? Yes, it is. Intercepted by Mike Hendrickson. It's his 2nd pick of the day.
Mike Hendrickson is a rather large fella. I wonder if he has a stealth boy or something, because Rocky Marchitelli just looks like he can't see him here. Like he's trying to shovel this pass. You can see the intent. He's trying to get it to Marcelo J. Avalos, but Hendrickson is right there again to pick him off.
Hendrickson is just slightly slimmer than I am. 6'1", 220 is a pretty accurate description for my build. Just about 10 or 15 pounds lighter. Second pick of the day for one of the 8 captains, the Oct captains, I guess, for the Corsairs. And now Avila Santos wants Angel Sanchez all alone. He didn't come up with that, but I think Elijah Zaire McKnight did!
That pass was intercepted.
Wow!
Angel Sanchez had 4 steps on 4 defensive backs. He was impossibly open. He's turning back almost like a center fielder trying to catch that ball. He loses the handle as he hits the ground, and it pops up in the air. And for Easy McKnight, that's an easy pick.
Well, how about that?
When that ball is up in the air, I'm watching it soar, and I see that Sanchez is wide open. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they're going to score more points this week than they did last week. Instead, it's a huge swing back to the Falcons as they try to get on the board before the end of this first half.
First down. Here is Aguirre getting out to the far side to the numbers. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And Devin LeBron is now in at quarterback for the Falcons. After that second interception by Marchitelli, they've got to go with the quarterback who presumably can see Mike Hendrickson.
Aguirre picks up almost 8.
But a good run for Aguirre on first down. Remember that new rules. Now, they're not going to stop the clock for a ball going out of bounds at this facet of the game when we get under 2 minutes, but not right now. Also, you may have noticed they aren't stopping the clock and moving the chains now for first downs. Not until we get to 2 minutes. Swing out to the left side was complete. It was Deshaun Curtis made the catch.
Sean Curtis with the reception.
But it's actually going to be a loss of a couple of yards that time. He's not able to get back to the 20.
Alicia and Muirbach combining for that hit.
LeBron 5 of 7, 101 yards last week. Of course, 99 of those coming in one play.
He's got the accuracy. He also has the ability to run. He was a dual threat quarterback at Essex Tech. Former Dean College Bulldog. Was hurt for a while. Now he throws this one over the middle, tipped up, and that is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jonathan Brightman as he rolls around looking for some space to run, eventually taken down.
Jonathan Brightman with that kick for the Corsairs.
That'll be the third different quarterback intercepted in the last 5 minutes.
You can see LeBron as the pressure comes. It's just not, the instincts there are going to come with practice and experience. That's not what you want to do as a quarterback who's under pressure. You see he's backpedaling, he doesn't set his feet, he's not able to step and deliver the throw. He just kind of chucks it up there. Then it turns into a jump ball, it's batted, it's picked. That's how bad things happen as a quarterback, and this time something bad happened.
Third interception of the day for the Corsair defense. 3:36 to go in this first half. 33-point lead for UMass Dartmouth. Be a run up the middle. Jalen Aponte going out to the left side and getting a few.
Aponte, the ball carrier. Tripped up by Jan Val. Short gain on the play.
It's going to be interesting, Dan, and I think this is going to be a subplot for the Falcons really over the course of this season. Both of these quarterbacks, Devin LeBron and Rocky Marchitelli, are young. And there is, we've heard some good things as well about the other freshman quarterback, Derek Balico. Falcons need to find a signal caller.
Villa Santos rolls to the right, throws deep in the right corner, but it's like nothing. There's a flag on the play, but it fell right in between Jael Cabrera and Peter Quatchett.
Saw Quatchett looking around, surprised. There have been a number of times today I thought he might get penalized for something. I think they finally got him here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This time they'll call the DPI on Quatchett. Just where that ball landed in the end, there was a spot of confusion. It was probably because of the interference by Quatchett that just led to the ball being well away from Cabrera, a bit away from Quatchett, and you knew that just could not stand. Corsairs are now 18 yards from goal after the DPI will give them 15 free ones. Avila Santos rolling around. There's Cameron Topkin who dives, can't get him. Now the throw to the right side just throws it away. Good pass defense, at least by the Falcons, to prevent UMass Dartmouth from getting a good completion downfield.
Avila Santos senses the pressure coming from his left, rolls right, and it's just not there for him, so he gets rid of it out of bounds. First time today we've really said it's just not there for UMass Dartmouth.
UMass Dartmouth today with 153 yards through the air in this first half. The Falcons had a really good pass defense last year. It gave 138 yards a game. That was actually top 10 nationally. Now, quick swing, and just a bit too hot to handle. They let the play go on, or now they call it incomplete, I think. That was kind of awkward. If it was backwards, it was forwards.
I thought it was a backwards
pass. On the field is an incomplete pass, third down.
And just looking at the down judge who had their arms out signaling incomplete, but waited a moment to blow the whistle, and you can see that Aponte thought that was a forward pass and incomplete. He definitely checked up and then started running forward where, oh, I don't hear a whistle.
Yeah, if you don't hear a whistle, you might as well play.
Now 3rd and 10. Just the 4th time today the Corsairs have faced third down. They've converted all 3 of them. They're going to take a little more time to talk it over.
Second charge timeout. UMass Dartmouth.
While I have a moment, I think now's a good time to do an out-of-town scoreboard update.
Sounds wonderful.
Check on some other games going on in the MassCAC. This year we have 10 members in the MassCAC. Castleton has joined us for a season. Just one, though.
Just one. Yep. They're visiting.
Yep, they're visiting the conference.
They're crashing on the MassCAC's couch.
WestCon, who's in their final season in the conference, they're going to the Landmark next year. They whooped Mass Maritime last night 45-6. Meanwhile, Castleton is at Framingham. That game just got underway. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. And Bridgewater is at Westfield State. That will be a 2 o'clock start.
Now, Dan, I also have the scoreboard here, and I see that there is a Worcester State-Plymouth State game scheduled.
Yep, and that game is late in the first half. Worcester State currently holding on to a 21-14 lead. Worcester State has a brand new head coach in Zach Besaw, and they're hoping to get their first win since beating Fitchburg State last year.
It would be a pretty impressive upset for Worcester State. Preseason poll had them 9th in the MassCAC, Plymouth State the 5th team. Nice little win for Worcester State if they can hold on to it.
Note my fourth cousin Luke is actually up there playing for Plymouth State now. The former Fitchburg High quarterback, running back, do just about everything. And they've listed him as a wide receiver too.
Okay, sounds right.
Anyway, here's that 3rd down and 10 play. We'll see if UMass Dartmouth can convert. Avila Santos sees a lot of green field turf in front of him and just drives forward to the 5-yard line.
There's a flag down there.
But there is a penalty flag in all of this.
Holding. Defense, number 3. That penalty is declined. First down.
Even with Elijah Zaire McKnight holding someone, Avila Santos was still able to easily get the first down.
Good blocking, but great coverage downfield. Eventually doesn't see anything opening up. So Avila Santos just decides to take off, run with it, gets the first down.
Inside the 5-yard line, it'll be Kevin Brown who bounces off the line, rolls to the right, and walks in for the UMass Dartmouth Corsairs' 6th touchdown of the first half.
Kevin Brown, 3-yard touchdown rush.
Seen a lot of Kevin Brown today. Now he finds his way into the end zone.
He'll have his 2nd touchdown of the campaign.
McManus on to attempt an extra point.
Now Connor McManus back on for the extra point. Snap down a little low. Kick is up. Kick misses.
It is no good.
A good wide left this time.
2:16 to go in the first half, 39-0 to the Corsairs. They've now dropped their 3rd extra point of the day.
So Dan, would you like another from the this might be nothing, but it also might not be nothing file?
Sure.
So this might be nothing, but it also might not be nothing. You mentioned Derek Balico, the 2nd freshman, the 3rd-string quarterback from Berkeley, Massachusetts. He was warming up with some intensity here on the near sideline during that entire last possession. That might be nothing. It might also not be nothing. We'll keep an eye on it as the game develops.
The one other quarterback on this roster, Trevor Bennett, had an interesting, the most recent game that he played at Elliott Field was actually a game he played in the season finale last year against Westfield State, in which he got sacked by Ethan Deneen, who was a Falcon, because Bennett was a Westfield State Owl at that time.
That's right. So he has experience playing at Elliott Field. He has more experience winning at Elliott Field than any Falcon quarterback on the roster. It's a true statement.
It is. It's hard to believe, but well, believe it or don't.
Listen, I don't always enjoy reporting true statements, but that is a true statement. The Falcon quarterback who has the most wins at Elliott Field is the guy who transferred here from another school.
Falcons 1st and 10 from their own 25.
So Falcons taking the fair catch again.
And it is Devin LeBron still in at quarterback.
Falcons trailing 39-0. First down will be a carry by Aguirre. And out to the left side, got to maybe about the line of scrimmage before he's driven back with a lot of force and power.
Aguirre, the ball carrier, short loss on the
Big
play.
number 90, Michael DeLeon, the junior from Lawrence,
applied the first hit.
among many Corsairs.
And now it's time for the 2-minute timeout.
He set the game clock to 2 minutes.
The 2-minute timeout.
That is the official nomenclature that the NCAA is using.
So they've added the thing the NFL calls the 2-minute warning,
Yes, they
but
have.
they're not going to call it the 2-minute warning.
Yes.
In the south end zone or open
Does
for
the
business.
NCAA intentionally seek out the stupidest possible things they could do, or do they just come by it naturally? Because, like,
My official answer to that is emoji shrug. But the reason they've instituted the 2-minute timeout this season is because the timing rules change when you go under 2 minutes to go in the half.
Okay.
So we bring back stop the clock, move the chains, and we stop the clock when the ball goes out of bounds.
And it certainly has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that this creates a beautiful natural point for a commercial timeout for D1 broadcasts.
They've been told they're not allowed to add another commercial break. It's like if you have 7 for the half, you still have 7 for the half. You
But
can
what
just-
if they have one of those annoying roll-in ads? Can they add one of those annoying roll-in ads?
I mean, I don't think they really policed those to begin with. Aguirre takes it back to the line of scrimmage. He lost a yard on the last carry. This time he gets it back.
I suppose this is the point where we say something about the virtues of access television and how we're not corporate-owned shills or something. That sounds right. Pretend I said that here.
We're under 100 seconds to go in the first half of play. 39-0. UMass Dartmouth in front, and another third down coming for the Falcons. They have 1 passing yard on the day. But this UMass Dartmouth pass defense was the best in the nation last year, conceded 102 per game. LeBron's going to take it himself, going to the left side. He's spun down by Shane Mirabot, another one of the captains, the graduate student from Cumberland, Rhode Island, at the 24-yard line.
Third and final charge timeout, UMass Dartmouth.
And the Corsairs would like to maximize the amount of time that they have to work with, as they expect to get the ball back with maybe about a minute left. So they'll use their third and final timeout to get it back. 64 seconds left in this first half. They lead by 39, which is not as much as they led by at the end of the first half last week.
Hey, positives.
Yep, 28 and 26 adds up to 54.
It's true, it does.
And that's how many they had at the halftime break last week against Nichols. 54-3 they were up on Nichols.
That wasn't a good time to be Nichols, to be honest with you.
Nichols had the better second half, but I think there are reasons why they had the better second half.
I mean, probably. Listen, at this point, I'll take the Falcons putting up 24 points in this game. I realize that means they wouldn't win, but, you know, I feel like we conceded that roughly halfway through the first quarter, didn't we? Some of the smarter of us may have conceded that when they saw the schedule come out, but, you know, I'm an optimist.
Hunter the punter. Hunter Sands back in. And
False start, offense number 6, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
another penalty against the Falcons will back everybody up 5 yards.
I think that's one of the gunners, Andrew Novak, who got called for a bit of a false start.
This is a bouncing snap, and Sands, when he picked up the football, had his knee on the ground. He got up and tried to kick it anyway, and, you know, it's a good thing he had his knee on the ground when he picked it up, because it would be 45-0 if not.
It would. It was, the punt itself was Not one of Sand's better efforts, must be said. It was under duress.
There's no flag on the play. The kicker was down. First down, UMass Dartmouth.
Just not a good snap. It bounces to Sands. He has trouble holding on to it. He slides down, and you can see his left knee is still on the ground as he touches the football and picks it up. So at that point, he's down and the play is dead. He tries kicking it anyway, and that would have been a minus 13-yard punt.
Would have. Also would have been one of the easier touchdowns Eli Matthews has ever scored.
Would not have been ideal, so the mistake actually turns out to be a net positive for the Falcons, but it's still a very, very short field for the Corsairs to navigate. And Avila Santos throws one straight down to the turf. Wanted Sanchez.
Pass ball is incomplete.
But not nearly enough airtime on that pass.
Second and 10.
Easy McKnight was all over Sanchez. You saw Avila Santos try to deliver that ball low. He just got it a little too low. Falcons showing pressure. Corsairs adjusting their blocking.
Swings out to the left for Marvin Jean. Looked backwards to me. He gets to the flank. Muscles away to the 5-yard line.
You can see the thought process there, Dan. Fitchburg State looked like they were selling out for a blitz up the middle. So they changed the play at the line, swinging out to the back, going out wide. Fitchburg State did a reasonably good job containing the edge. It's only a gain of 6.
Clock stays stopped for this third down play. It's floated left side corner into the end zone. And flag is thrown, but it is a provisional touchdown to Antonio Brown. But considering that the official who was right there threw the flag and then signaled a stoppage implies, we'll see what we got.
Pass interference, offense number 6. 15-yard penalty, third down.
I don't think that I'm going to go out on a limb and suggest that it wasn't number 6 who was guilty of offensive pass interference. And there are 2 reasons for that. One, number 6 is the starting quarterback. And number 2, the other number 6 is a linebacker. I suspect right there is the offensive pass interference. I think that's on Brown, number 18.
Yep, Antonio Brown will not have that touchdown. It'll be minus 10 yards instead.
Someone on the sideline has a great idea for a play.
Yeah. Los Santos sees a bit of pressure now. He rolls to the right side. Look at all that turf. But Santos is able to get back to the original line of scrimmage for the beginning of this drive, but not much more than that. I think that was Quachit who was practically blowing a tire trying to get Santos that hard cut in direction. 20 seconds to go in the half. 4th and 10. The game clock's all that really matters here because there's less time on the play clock. There's more time on the play clock than the game clock. So on 4th down, Vila Santos wants to go left corner again, incomplete. Wanted to try to find Antonio Brown again, but he could not come up with it. So the Falcons will dodge that in the grand scheme of things. And UMass Dartmouth will not have their 7th touchdown on this particular drive.
Went right back to Brown. He was matched up with Justin Ortega. Ortega played good tight defense. Brown unable to come in, make the catch. And now something tells me this is going to be a run up the middle. I don't know if the Falcons have a 90-some yard 4-second play in their playbook, but I suspect this is going to be a run up the middle and then go to the locker rooms.
It will be a run to the right side by Aguirre. It's the 20, 25-yard line. He's out of bounds there. Somebody loses his hat. That was a Corsair at the end. Does he have to sit out the first play of the next half? I don't know how that particular thing works.
I would assume that because there's a quarter, I'm not going to pretend to make up the rules. J.J. Torres is the man without a helmet.
And that brings us to the end of the first half of play. 39-0 Corsairs in front.
Dan, I feel like you wanted us to throw the break there, and listen, that about sums it up. It has been a challenging first half for Fitchburg State. An excellent first half for UMass Dartmouth. How about that?
Yep, I can't say it was without expectation. This has been the numbers have sort of borne out that UMass Dartmouth is the better team coming in. 20 first downs in that first half, 313 yards of offense compared to the 97 the Falcons had. You know, the last time these two teams met here at Elliott Field, UMass Dartmouth held Fitchburg to 23 yards of offense.
So they're improving.
This is an improvement.
Hey! Well, I would say we'll take it, but I mean, honestly, if you had offered me 39-0 at halftime before this game started, I said, you know what, no, I'll take my chances. And here we are. So
UMass Dartmouth has looked very solid. They've looked every bit the team that we expected them to be.
a very strong opponent indeed, and they have put a whooping on Fitchburg State in the first half. 39-0 is the halftime score. Dan and I will take the break with the players, and we will come on back. Folks, it is going to be a tremendous second half of action, I hope, here on FATV. Stick around, why don't you? Back here at Elliott Field, college football Saturday on FATV. Fitchburg State playing host to the Corsairs of UMass Dartmouth. And Dan, I'm going to say this as many times as I can for as long as it's relevant. The undefeated Falcons are losing 39-0.
As it goes.
But that's fine, because the undefeated Falcons will get the ball to start the second half. It has not been a good first half for the undefeated Falcons, but, well, you know, it's hard to say that it is a good first half when you're losing 39-0. But, you know.
313 yards total offense for UMass Dartmouth in the first half, 97 yards for the Falcons. UMass Dartmouth, Dante Vela-Santos, 12 for 22, 158 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. Jalen Aponte was the leading running back for 52 yards. 4 different running backs have 25-plus yards for the Corsairs, and 5 different Corsairs have receptions. 3 of them have touchdowns.
I want to point out 4 different running backs for the Corsairs have at least 25 rushing yards. That includes Dante Avila-Santos, who has 3 carries, and Marvin's Gene, who has 1.
Meanwhile, for the Falcons,
I'm sorry, the undefeated Falcons.
The undefeated Fitchburg State Falcons.
I'll stop now.
Matty Aguirre is averaging 5 yards a carry. He's got 11 for 55. Oreo Fatoki has 11 for 28. Rocky Marchitelli had a 14-yard carry in the first half. And the completions, Marcelo Giavalos had his first career catch for 2 yards, and Deshaun Curtis had his first catch as a Falcon for -1.
Falcon quarterbacks a combined 2 out of 10 for 1 yard with 3 interceptions. And although we have been doing this for a while, I don't think I qualify as a football expert. Still, I'm qualified to say that's not good.
Meanwhile, Mike Hendrickson has 9 tackles for the Corsairs, in addition to 2 of those 3 interceptions. For the Falcons, Elijah Zaire McKnight leads the team with 6 tackles. He also has the interception. So curious that the interception leader on each team in this contest is also the tackle leader. The Corsairs have done a good job holding Cameron Topkin and Cam Manette at bay. Only 3 tackles between the 2 of them when they combined for 23 last week against Dean.
They know where the strengths of the Falcon defense are, and they've done a good job avoiding them, whether that's getting it through the air or just running it in the other direction.
The Falcons have been taking fair catches on the kickoffs, and by rule, a fair catch inside the 25-yard line brings the ball to the 25-yard line.
We saw the Falcons have some adventures on their first couple of kickoff return attempts. There was one that was botched and miffed and fumbled through the end zone for a touchback, and a couple that barely got across the 20. So, you know, eventually, listen, just if you're not going to get across the 20, take a fair catch. Save yourself some bruises.
Devin LeBron, the transfer freshman quarterback for Fitchburg State, will hand it off on first down. That was Aguirre who took it into the line, met there by the Corsairs, and nowhere for him to go. It's a gain of 0.
Falcons have been having some success
Henriksen with the
on
stop
the
for
ground,
UMass
but
Dartmouth.
obviously if that's the
Second and
only
9.
thing they're going to be doing to move the ball, teams are just going to stack the box more and more, almost dare Fitchburg State to throw it.
This is a Corsair team that averaged 102 yards conceded per game through the air. And there's a bullet over the middle. That's intercepted! And it's taken by Jackson Wellman, who'll run it out to the far side. The 4th pick of the day for UMass Dartmouth. And it results in a pick 6. The 5th year here from Taunton, Mass. Jackson Wellman, the linebacker, makes it 45-0.
Jackson Wellman.
I was saying the Corsairs were going to dare Fitchburg State to pass.
Interception return for a touchdown.
Fitchburg State took that dare, and the Corsairs shoved it in their face. Wellman just dropping back in that zone. LeBron thought he did see a receiver coming open across the middle, but he didn't see Wellman waiting in that underneath zone. This time it cost the Falcons 6 points.
The snap rolled on the ground.
Trouble on the snap. There's a flag down.
And the holder just ate it. A flag also was thrown after all of that. Shane Longan was the holder for the Corsairs.
Offside, defense number 0. Half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
Cam Topkin guilty of getting across the neutral zone before the snap.
Corsairs can try it again now. Oh. 18 inches from goal. Or that's not how that works, is it?
No. No, I don't think so.
No. 1.5 yards from goal. I tried to be too fancy. 4.5 feet. They're just a little closer this time. Snap still pretty low, but corrected quickly enough. Kick is up and through.
Kick is good.
The extra point game has been a bit of an adventure, but Connor McManus will put another on the board.
Listen, football coaches are notorious perfectionists, right? And I think, now I don't want to put words in Josh Sylvester's mouth, and obviously he's happier to win this game than he would have been if his team had lost it. I suspect that Josh Sylvester is going to spend more time berating his special teams unit for their performance in this game than praising anyone for anything else they've done. Maybe that's just me stereotyping football coaches. They tend to be a certain kind of person.
There's been a slight adventure in that regard. The snapping has not been the best. It's been pretty low. We saw the one before. Maybe it was a spook from the offside, but it just rolled along it.
Yeah, it was not a good snap, and there have been several of those, including on that last kick that was actually good.
Moses will kick it off, drive it through the air. Falcons once again will take the fair catch.
Katie with the fair catch of the kickoff. Falcon offense back to the field. 1st and 10 from their own 25.
Again, they'll start from the 25-yard line. Each of the Falcons quarterbacks that have appeared today have thrown 2 interceptions. They'll be sticking with Devin LeBron. Aguirre is in the backfield. Emilio Cabe will go to the near side. Zahir Gomez working out to the right side. Lines up off the line. Marcelo Giavalos on the near. But after all of that, it'll be LeBron keeping it himself. It was a choice, and a flag hits Kevin Vieira in the rear end.
There is a flag down.
As Owen Dunker was able to wrestle LeBron to the ground, but there were
Personal
other
foul,
infractions.
face mask, defense number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It may have been away from the play, but I don't think that Malachi Simeo was guilty of a face mask there. We saw him come in toward the end of the play, kind of gently put his hands on LeBron's hips as he was being thrown to the ground. But I didn't see any face masking there. Not that the Falcons are complaining. I think they'll take the 15 yards.
So what would have been no gain will instead be a 15-yard gain on the penalty. This time it will be Aguirre, who blew a tire trying to get around the corner.
Betty Aguirre, the ball carrier. Short loss on the
Found
play.
Jordan D'Amico there and then tried to cut, and there was a traction control failure.
We saw Aguirre have some success with a play very similar to this in the first half, where it was a designed run to the outside, and then he cut upfield for a good gain. That time he tried to cut a little bit too late, got a little ahead of his skis, and fell to the turf.
2nd down and 12 coming. That's 90 seconds gone as the receiving corps is going to make its way out to the far side. Leave one receiver on the near, put a man in motion. Brennan Cohen. After all that will be another handoff. Aguirre goes into the line. It's back to the line of scrimmage. That's as far as he's going to get.
Aguirre.
That time it was Jaywin Bowden and Lamar Beaton driving Aguirre down.
Lamar Beaton had that hit for UMass
See
Dartmouth.
Beaton there just
3rd
staying
12.
back, not immediately charging into the line, waiting for the play to develop in front of him. He sees the hole, he fills the hole, and he's able to drive Aguirre down. Good fundamental defense by the Corsairs. Falcons unable to break through.
Now, Falcons 1 for 9 on 3rd down. It's a throw. Cohen battling for it. Couldn't quite survive the ground there. Looked like he had his mitts on it, but just couldn't keep a grasp on the football.
For Brandon Cohen.
Malachi Simeo came in, delivered a big hit. Part of the reason you see they're diving in, just kind of spinning Cohen away from that one.
Hunting unit on for
Here
Fitchburg.
comes Hunter Sands to kick it away again.
Sands has 2 punts on the day. He's averaging 28.5, a 29 and a 28, so that's easy math. There was also a botched snap that led to him being saddled with about a 10-yard loss. This is a much better snap and a much better kick. It'll bounce on the ground. Taken in by Hunter Remington. He'll swing out of one tackle, but then is wrestled down on the 2nd attempt there.
Give
that tackle to Kyle Connolly.
Corsair offense, 1st and 10.
Connolly's a freshman
From their
from
own
Wallingford,
36.
Connecticut, graduate of Lehman Hall.
And Dan, with this game now in the 2nd half, UMass Dartmouth enjoying a 46-0 lead. I'm not saying I'm surprised to see the starters out for this play, but it's an open question when they go to the 2nd string.
There was a point where they reached that in the first game against Nichols. So throw out to the right side, that is caught. It's Aponte who's able to break out of a couple tackles and continue to run to about the 40-yard line. He finally stepped out of bounds after all of that.
Pass complete
So we'll
to
take it to
number
where
7,
he
Jalen
broke the
Aponte.
boundary.
Nice gain on the play for the Corsairs.
Just a simple
Personal
swing pass to the
foul.
far side.
Roughing the passer. Defense.
Hopkins
Number
forced
8.
them out at the end of the play.
15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Sebastian Burmester guilty of roughing the passer as well. So tack another 15 yards on top of it.
With the good play and with the penalty, already navigated half the field.
Corsairs 1st and 10 from the Fitchburg.
31 yards
31.
from goal. On 1st down, it's Aponte up the middle. He'll be met there by 3-4 different Falcons. Grant McCose, I think, was the first to get his mitts on him.
Aponte, the ball carrier. gain of
McCose is a
about
transfer.
5.
He's played football at Albright and Stevenson.
McCose and Cummings combined.
Coming
for
into
the
last
Fitchburg
Saturday,
2nd and
Albright,
5.
well, actually, coming into the season, Albright actually was one of 2 teams that had a longer losing streak than Fitchburg entering this season. But they were able to break that with a win over Gallaudet.
Hey, hey.
The longest losing streak in the nation belongs to Lawrence University.
They can have it. They're welcome to it.
Leo Santos rolls to the right side, finds Angel Sanchez, and Jan Vowles will wrestle him out of bounds.
Pass is complete. Angel Sanchez.
So,
with
Dan,
the
I want to
reception,
ask you
good for
something
1st
while
down
we were
yard.
talking about Grant McCose, the transfer from Albright and Stevenson.
Yep.
He's the only player on your roster sheet here listed with 2 hometowns, Tucson, Arizona, and Franklin, New Jersey. My question is simple, and we'll talk about it after this play.
Jalen Aponte, the ball
The play's
carrier.
already entered. Aponte ended up
Tackled
losing
for
a yard.
loss.
So the question is,
Number
what's
0,
up with that?
Cameron Hopkins,
So
loss of about
Tucson,
2 on the
Arizona is
play,
what's listed
second
on
and
the
12.
Fitchburg State roster. However, Franklin, New Jersey is what was listed on the Albright and Stevenson rosters.
I see.
So wasn't quite sure if maybe there was something lost to communication or he calls both places home or whatever the case may be, but I decided to include both on my personal sheet.
Reasonable.
He's well traveled, however you wish to put it. 2nd and 11 coming for the Corsairs. It's going to be another handoff out to the left side. Breaking tackles is Kevin Brown. He's at the 5, still staying on his feet and forcing his way down to around the 3-yard line.
Tremendous second and third effort from Brown. After he's hit and wrapped up, he kept driving forward, kept his legs underneath him.
3rd and 1.
Was able to turn a good gain into a very good gain.
3rd and 1 given here. It will be Brown, just blasts through the middle, dives for the goal line, and gets in there. Touchdown, UMass Dartmouth.
Kevin Brown with a 3-yard
Kevin Brown with the second score on the day makes it 52-0.
It's a little early to suggest such a thing, Dan, but you know. So we're given a superlatives list as part of the pregame preparation package here at Elliott Field. Do you happen to have the one that lists how many is the school record for points conceded in a game by the Falcons?
It is 82.
Good to know.
Happened twice. Snap is down, kick is up. It's weird and wobbly, but it is good.
Hey, that's all that matters.
Nobody cares how it gets there, just as long as it gets through there.
Yeah, you got a big yellow U-shaped stick, and if you kick a ball through it, you get a point.
82-0 happened against Ithaca in 1984. That was, I believe, the 3rd varsity game that the Falcons ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened in 2022 against Bridgewater State. It was Bridgewater's homecoming, too, so they let off fireworks after the first 10 touchdowns.
And then they ran out of fireworks?
No, they said they were going to stop doing it because they would run out of fireworks for the end.
Were they also saving some for the post-game show?
Yeah, they were saving some for the end.
It's reasonable.
They botched 2 extra points, and that was the only reason they didn't get the record then and there. That was a bad night, best forgotten by all.
True. It's a factual statement. Anyway, 9:39 to play here, 3rd quarter. UMass Dartmouth leads Fitchburg State by a score of 53-0. Of course, Corsairs have had the ball 9 times and scored 8 touchdowns.
That one's going to hop on the ground, taken at the 10.
Fair catch of the kickoff by KB.
They will give the credit for the fair catch.
10 from their own 25.
You can fair catch a kick that bounces?
I didn't look hard enough in the rule book on that one. I'll get back to you next week.
I was here thinking, good on the Corsairs. They found a way to counter this fair catch game, force the Falcons to try a return.
Maybe there's a player safety spirit of the rule thing going in there.
I'm sure. I mean, that would make sense.
It's like, we can bend that one a little bit. But maybe it's actually in the rule somewhere and I just don't have the exact language to give to you at this moment. Falcons will stick with this 3-receiver, 2-back shotgun. First down, it's Matty Aguirre. Cuts direction right back up the middle, up the hash marks. Met by half the team and then some, maybe 2/3 by the end of all of that.
Gain of 2.
But he gets a few yards out of it. Give him to the 28-yard line.
Seen a lot of Matty Aguirre as this game has gone on.
2nd and 7.
It only feels like he's been a Falcon for the last decade and a half.
Well, he has been here since the pandemic.
Like I said, it only feels.
He is a proper senior and everything. 2nd and 7, it'll be Fatoki who takes it up the middle, and it's a good run. Gets him to the 28-yard line, 5 yards.
Fitchburg, the ball carrier.
You can see the
Gain of
makings
about 4 on the play.
of a pretty good, thunder and lightning style
3rd and 2.
ground game for Fitchburg State. You've got the nimble elusiveness of Matty Aguirre, and then the speedy, blunt force of Oreo Wakite Fitoki.
3rd down, it will be Fitoki. Gets right to the 30. Muscle down there,
Fitoki,
just
the
ran
ball
right
carrier.
into Seidel
Gain of
Sanchez.
2 on the play. Change the move, that's a Fitchburg 1st down.
Sanchez, a freshman from Plainfield, Massachusetts, a graduate of King Philip, a Division II state champion this past season.
And on that last play, Dan, by having those 2 running backs in the backfield, you're able to fake the handoff to one, kind of get the defense looking to their left, and then hand it off to Fitoki going the other way. Didn't get a huge gain there, but it got what they needed for the 1st down.
Falcons will adjust the formation and will go with a run. And it's a solid gain again by Oreo Wakite Fitoki. Gets past the
Fitchburg,
40-yard
ball
line.
carrier.
Extra push
Late
there,
flag on
and
the
the flag
play.
will fly for that.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 91. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Jordan D'Amico, the sophomore from Cambridge, Vermont, guilty of a little bit of extracurricular activity. And I mean, hey, school's just getting into session. It's good for him to be signing up for clubs and all that, but there's a time and a place.
That one thrown by our referee, Chris Haddad, and didn't have to wait for
Falcons
anyone to
1st
tell
and
him
10.
what happened because he saw it himself and could make the call himself.
43.
And he made it clear, unacceptable conduct. We'll tack on 15 yards. UMass Dartmouth has to shuffle the line as Fitchburg lines up. It is Fitoki. Will go to the left side, followed some blockers, and continue to make his way
Fitchburg, the
as
ball
the tackler
carrier.
actually gets tangled up with the umpire.
Gain of almost 12, good for another Fitchburg 1st down.
12-yard gain for Fitoki as Jordan Neves had to sort of untangle himself from the umpire.
You can see
Jordan
right there,
Neves
Neves goes
Jr.
barreling in. I thought the umpire was just helping him to his feet, but no, he was
Falcons
doubled
1st
over,
and
making
10.
sure he didn't fall over.
And now this is Aguirre. He's going to go to the right side, try to outrun the Corsairs. Falcon has lost his
Aguirre.
helmet, and that is one of the O-linemen this time, Giovanni Laguerre. The freshman from Lake Worth, Florida, is going to have to set out the 2nd down play.
Oreo Fitoki softens them up in the middle. You get Aguirre to hit him from the outside. Falcons will bring in Jack Fede as a replacement
2nd and
on the
9.
offensive line. He'll slot in at right tackle.
Freshman from Cambridge, graduated from Cambridge Ridge and Latin. They're the Falcons, so didn't have to change mascots there to come to Fitchburg State. Now Fitoki up the middle,
Fitchburg,
spun down as he collided with
about
Lamar
3 on the
Beaton
play.
and spun all the way down to the ground. Beaton, a
Had that
junior
hit
from
from Corsairs.
Roslindale, Mass. Went to Lincoln
3rd and
Sudbury.
5.
Laguerre will check back in. Saw Fede, stay in the huddle, hoping nobody would remember him. He looked to the sideline and shrugged as if to say, "What did I do? Why am I coming out?" Guys think they're starters real quick, I've noticed.
Tomas Polanco has also checked in as a running back. He's now joining Fitoki to either side of Devin LeBron. 3rd down play here will be Fitoki again, going to the right side, getting to the boundary. We forced out of
Fitoki,
bounds
the ball
there, we'll come
carrier.
down to the spot. Ended up
Gain
getting
of
just
6
enough
on the
for the
play,
1st
good for
down
another
to the
Fitchburg
21-yard
1st down.
line.
It's a play call we've seen mostly going to Aguirre for this game so far for Fitchburg. Just get the ball carrier to the outside. But that time with Aguirre on the sideline, they didn't want to give it to Polanco. Instead, it's Fitoki playing the outside back, and he got the 1st down.
Finding some comfort there. Now Aguirre is going to take it. The Bronco lined up as a tight end out to the right side. some whistles, and
Aguirre, the ball
Laguerre
carrier.
really is going to have to get that helmet adjusted.
Yeah, you tighten your chin strap, dude. Jack Fede's happy. He's back on the field.
We'll get another go.
There's no flag on the play. Second down.
Laguerre from Lake Worth, Florida, graduate of Park Vista Community. Their mascot, they're the
Aguirre's
Cobras.
gain was for about 5. Brings up a 2nd and 5 for the Falcons.
I don't think there are any schools in Massachusetts who are the Cobras.
I've never heard of any. But, you know, it's lucky I can remember that there's one called the Panthers. So.
There are several called the Panthers. Now Polanco will get his first touch of the game.
All right, fine. There's one important one called the Panthers. Happy?
Polanco,
I
the
wasn't
ball carrier.
trying to be a Marlboro elitist.
Short gain on the play.
Ordinarily, a
Seal
Marlboro
Alexander
elitist
with
is
the
someone
hit
who
for the
doesn't smoke
Corsairs.
Lucky Strike.
3rd and 4.
To the 15-yard line goes Polanco.
Is it a bad side that the only 2 cigarette brands I know of are the one named after my hometown and the one that's prominently featured on Mad Men?
I think that's actually a better thing in retrospect. Because it means that the advertising, well, or the lack thereof, is not getting to you.
That's true.
Aguirre bouncing out to the left side now, trying to cut back in towards the left hashes.
Dan, you'll never guess what happened.
What?
Well, there's this gentleman on the Falcons named Giovanni Laguerre, and he plays football. And in football, there's this protective device called a helmet, right? And the helmet is designed to be strapped to your head such that it might protect your skull from, you know, football. Well, Mr. Laguerre did not properly secure his helmet, and therefore it fell off of his head during the play. And due to the rules of football, he must now be removed from the field.
For play.
This has happened a 3rd time in a row.
The man's helmet is just not fitted proper. It is goal to go, by the way, for the Falcons on first down.
Polanco, the ball carrier. Short gain.
So they go to the left side. That was Fatoki who had the carry. Doesn't really get much on that one.
Sanchez with the hit. 2nd and goal.
And this time Laguerre's not going to come back in.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who is keeping a very close eye on this near sideline as they work on Laguerre's helmet.
There's something wrong with it, and it must be fixed. And until then, here's Polanco on 2nd down. Thought he found the hole, but Beaton beat him to it. Beaton also ripped the ball out of his hands, but after the whistle had
Polanco, the ball
belonged.
carrier. Loss of about 1 on the play.
I heard an exclamation from UMass Dartmouth fans here on the near sideline when Beaton came away from that with the football. That was indeed well after the play had been whistled dead. Polanco probably just kind of stopped trying for a while there. Dan, the running subplot, Giovanni Laguerre, is back in the game. We will keep an eye on the Falcon right tackle and his helmet.
We saw them adjusting the helmets there. Falcons let the play clock run down, and now they're
First
going.
charge timeout. Fitchburg.
And they'll call their first timeout of the contest. With 1:52 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Falcons trail by 53.
And as the Falcons take their first timeout of the 2nd half, we want to take this opportunity to thank the underwriters who make this and every remote broadcast possible here on FATV.
Fitchburg Access Television's remote productions
Those
are brought to
underwriters,
you in
of course,
part by Rollstone Bank and
Include
Trust,
Rollstone Bank and Trust,
Acme Carpet One, Lemonster Credit Union, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
Thank you very much to those folks for all of the underwriting support they provide to FATV. I like how they let you handle it in the first half, but when I started in the 2nd half, they were like, nope, we bring in Ann. We need Ann. And listen, Ann Bisbee does a tremendous job for that.
That radio voice, that radio experience. Smooth as silk. Mason Nichols is now checking it as a running back to the left of Devin LeBron. Noria Fatoki to his right. LeBron looks to the huddle. 3rd and 11. It will be Fatoki. Goes to the left side, breaking it to the 10. But he's not going to be able to get farther than that.
The ball carrier. Gain of a few.
Dan, I have done a journalism. I am here to report that Giovanni Laguerre has played one down without his helmet coming off.
For the Falcons, for about the 10.
Looks like they've accomplished some things.
Picturing a big sign, it has been one down.
First charge timeout, UMass Dartmouth.
Now UMass Dartmouth will call their first timeout of the second half with 79 ticks of the clock remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Corsairs hold a 53-0 lead. Let's check some other leads in the MassCAC.
Let's do.
So we mentioned already, WestCon beat Maritime 45-6. That's the Massachusetts variety. The main variety is not in our conference, but will be returning to varsity play next year, which is good to see. Plymouth and Worcester are level at 21. They're early in the 4th quarter. Castleton has a 16-6 lead over Framingham at halftime, and Bridgewater and Westfield kicked off in the last 10 minutes. And our next contest, by the way, here on FATV will be just 7 days from now, as the Falcons will be taking on Worcester State. A noontime kickoff here from Elliott Field, and that should actually be a pretty good game.
Two very evenly matched teams, closely situated in the MassCAC preseason poll. You may be able to infer something from the careful language I'm using there. I couldn't possibly comment.
There's 4th down. It's going to be a throw to the right side, looking for Cavey! He got it! Touchdown Falcons! Emilio Cavey with his 2nd score of the season puts the Falcons on the board.
Tremendous full extension catch from Emilio Cavey. Look at him here, fully airborne as he comes down with it.
10-yard touchdown.
Tremendous work on the catch.
Emilio Cavey.
And I've got a $2 on home. That's tremendous work by Tyler Coffin on that camera as well.
Sergeant.
Damn. Thought I had it.
We haven't thanked the crew yet, so we'll do that at the next stoppage.
And I'll get Tyler's name right.
Dylan Costner will hold. Snap down, kick is up. And that kick is through the uprights. Extra point is good for Jonah Costa. 1:13 to go in the 3rd quarter. It's Fitchburg State 7, UMass Dartmouth 53.
And we do indeed want to thank our tremendous crew here on FATV. Our director today is Robin Como, Travis Falk running audio, graphics, technical supervisor, Todd Govin on replay, and it is Tyler Sargent down on the field camera. And way up high on the scissor lift, there you see Isaiah Manuel on the left, Evan Schackenbach on the right. And they are, for the first time in a while, high above Elliott Field here in Fitchburg. It is a beautiful thing to see. The scissor lift back in action for FATV. There's Tyler Sargent down at field level. Tremendous work, as always, by the FATV camera crew, as well as the folks in the truck. I personally I have run those scissor lift cameras for a while. It's been a few years since we've been able to secure them, but we're so glad here at FATV to be able to bring you that shot again. Thank you as well to the folks at Fitchburg State University who made this possible, something that we're able to do here at Elliott Field. And Dan, I really think it adds a lot to our broadcast.
It definitely elevates the experience.
You had that one in the can. How long have you had that one in the can? That's my question.
3 seconds.
Okay. Well, it's very fresh and it's very good. Well done.
It just happened to work. I looked into that one. I'm just going to take the W and move on.
Yep.
Costa ready to kick off. Last time he kicked off, he went short. This time floats it up in the air. And just like last time, Corsairs are going to take the fair catch. This time at the 31-yard line. It is the same man who takes the fair catch too, in Makai Wilson.
Well, if it works for the Falcons, Corsairs are capable of learning.
Corsairs, 1st and 10 from their own 33.
We'll see how UMass Dartmouth reacts now that their lead has shrunk to a mere 46 points.
I think they've decided now's the good time to bring in that second tier, because here is the sophomore from Quincy in J.C. Petrangelo, I guess we should say. At least that's what I thought. That's what we saw there on first down, as Kevin Brown will have it.
Gain of about 4.
Petrangelo did get into the game last week as well. He was 7 out of 10 for 87 yards.
Second and 6.
Petrangelo is a sophomore.
One of a handful of Catholic Memorial graduates playing today for the Corsairs.
Now this is a run up the middle. That's Kevin Brown again. And he's blown through the line well into the second level and well past midfield into Falcon territory.
Griffin Burho.
Down to the 40-yard line, Griffin Burho gets the hit for the Falcons.
Corsairs first and 10 on the Fitchburg 40.
Just really good initial blocking, and then Brown, once in the second level, was able to make some guys miss, pick up great yardage, and now he's at it again.
Another great run there for
Kevin
Brown. Tackle made by Justin Ortega.
This is something we've seen the past few seasons for Fitchburg State, Dan, as these games get going. You know, especially on a day like today. It's hot, it's humid, you're losing by a lot. It's hard to keep the energy up. It's hard to keep, get that enthusiasm, that, that fire inside that you need in order to fight against the guy who's trying to block you. It's just, you look at that scoreboard. It's 53-7. There's only so many ways to sugarcoat that.
It's a challenge, but we were looking at the schedule at halftime when we realized that you look at the teams coming up for the Falcons, at home at least. Worcester State picked to come 9th in the conference. They'll be hosting Mass Maritime on October 19th, picked to come 6th. Castleton picked for 8th place. And then Plymouth State picked for 5th. Really, it's the heavies are all on the road for the most part, except for this one. This is the one game, really, where I think the Falcons are playing at home against one of the absolute top-tier teams in the conference.
The Falcons, like a couple of seasons ago, when Zach Shaw came in as the head coach, I said it really felt like Fitchburg State was essentially starting from absolute scratch. And now Izzy Abraham's here in his first season as Falcons head coach, and they're a better team now than they were 2 years ago. As difficult as it may be to say if this is your first time watching the Falcons in a while. But I think, and this is just me speaking, if next week Worcester State comes in and lays a whooping on the Falcons, then you should be really concerned. Fourth quarter underway here. Brown gets the carry on first down, tries the left side, nothing there, spins back to his right, gets close to the 20-yard line. Wind up giving him a gain of 4. Great second effort again by Brown. We've seen that all day, Dan.
Done very well running the football. Really, all the Corsairs running backs have done a tremendous job running the football, but Brown, who I think is going to jump over 100 yards with that run, has really had a solid day. Now 11 for 101 and 2 scores.
It'll be second down and 5 for UMass Dartmouth. Mekhi Wilson will check in to the backfield, and it will be Wilson, the ball carrier. Looks like pretty much the same play. He bounces it out to the left side, gets a first down. Inside the 15, it'll be first and 10 there for UMass Dartmouth.
That carry good for first down yardage. Corsairs first and 10 from the Fitchburg 14.
Corsairs hurry up to the line. This time going to the right side is Wilson. He's across the 10 before he's brought down. Another good gain for him. It's nothing fancy here. Fitchburg State is just getting leaned on, basically.
Wilson, a sophomore from Narragansett, Rhode Island.
This time Petrangelo will throw for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Corsairs! Connor Robidoux, the sophomore from East Longmeadow, jumped in front of a Falcon who looked like he was positioned to pick this one off. See the Falcon defender there spun around. That was Justin Ortega. Thought he had a pretty good chance at intercepting that ball, but he was running away from it, and Robidoux was able to jump in front. So he snags it. Now the extra point. Bad snap, good hold. Extra point attempt is up and true.
Kick is good.
13:37 to play here in the fourth quarter. And Dan, if I may bust out a very old reference, the Corsairs have been pretty late today. 60-7 is the lead. Have I just dated myself?
I can't say if you have or not, but I'm just thinking about that last snap. You know, I'm starting to half wonder if maybe rolling it on the ground is deliberate in a sense. It's
Footballs
awkward.
don't roll good. It's kind of one of the key points in the game.
I guess if you're able to turn the football as you're snapping it through your legs and roll it the long side through, it's just how quickly Shane Longan is able to pick that ball up, turn it up, and get it ready in a snapping position. I mean, McManus had no worries on that kick. That was, I think, the most reasonable kick today towards the uprights.
I think it was very good work from a holder who is used to fielding very bad snaps. Like, maybe there's strategy there. Maybe the Corsairs are playing four-dimensional chess with their long snapping. I am inclined to think that was just a bad snap and a great hold. But that's me. I could be wrong. I am, as previously stated, not an expert.
It's just the thing that's just happened several times today.
Fair catch called for and made, so the Falcons will once again take over at their own 25-yard line. Devin LeBron will lead the Fitchburg State offense back out onto the field. It has been, if you're keeping track at home, 2 plays in a row. The Giovanni Laguerre's helmet has not come off.
Laguerre will line up on the right side of the line.
We get some whistles before the play. There we go. Fatoki to the right, Aguirre to the left of LeBron. Aguirre will now go in motion. Handoff comes to the near side, spinning out of a tackle. My apologies, that's actually Mason Nichols, the ball carrier. He's driven down to the turf. And I don't know whose that is, but somebody lost a hat. You know what? It's not our usual suspect. It is Kevin Vieira. Kevin Vieira loses his helmet, and he will have to go to the sideline.
Because Jack Fede was already on the field, it was Melvin DeLeon, the Fitchburg High grad, who was going to check in for him.
2nd and 16.
2nd and 16 after the loss by Nichols. He lines up to the left side. Aguirre to the right of LeBron. Aguirre, the ball carrier this time. Goes up the middle. Back to the 20-yard line. Gain of maybe a couple. Call it 3rd and 15 now
Aguirre,
for
the ball
Fitchburg
carrier.
State.
Short gain.
As if the Falcons needed more impediments to their passing game, the wind has picked up rather substantially here at Elliott Field. Going to make moving the ball through the air that much harder. LeBron on 3rd and 15, lofts one up the near sideline. Pass is incomplete. Flags fly in from, frankly, everywhere. Eric Perkins was all over Emilio Cabe in a way that I don't think was in compliance with the rules of American football.
Defense, number 11.
Yeah, no, you really can't do that.
Automatic first down.
I mean, when you're in coverage with a receiver, I mean, you can be at arm's length. There may be a little bit of a jostling. You can't just be death gripping his arm.
You can't do that, no. You know, Dan, with the sun hitting the dark blue helmets of UMass Dartmouth like this, they look an awful lot like the Pittsburgh Steelers, don't they?
Well, when you look at it that way. Do they have the logo on just one side, too?
Handoff goes up the middle.
Eddie Aguirre.
I don't know if they...
Gain of about 2.
No, I think they've got logos on both sides. It's just tiny logo.
Yeah, it just blends in too well.
Yeah, because like the Buccaneer guy's wearing a dark hat, so it's very easy to not see it there. I guess he would be a well, no, a Corsair's a boat. Why do they have a pirate on their helmet if they're the Corsairs?
Well, Corsair is a pirate on a boat.
Oh, I thought a Corsair was a boat.
It's not the boat itself.
Oh.
Well, maybe there's a boat called a Corsair. Maybe that's a brand name somewhere.
I just thought it was a type of boat. I learned to think about boats today, so that I was wrong about boats. LeBron's pass is caught. A big hit is delivered, but then hanging on to the ball. Tremendous work there by Angel Andino Lozada. First time we've called his name today, the freshman from Holyoke.
First down yardage.
See, LeBron signals, sets his feet, delivers a bullet, and then Lozada hangs on despite a mighty whack from Carl Green. See, that time, Dan, LeBron was able to set his feet, step into the throw, deliver it with some velocity. He found his target for a first down. Now Aguirre trying the left side, and he's spun down in the backfield. Lamar Beaton is there. How many times have we called Beaton's name today?
Had that hit for UMass Dartmouth. Loss of about
Plenty
4,
enough,
second
especially in the
14.
second half. It's a 4-yard loss for Aguirre.
Second charge timeout, UMass Dartmouth.
UMass Dartmouth takes their second timeout. And Dan, I have the worst thing I could possibly say. We're both right. I just Googled what is a Corsair. A Corsair is both a pirate and a pirate ship. So I suppose my initial criticism was wrong, but I was right that a Corsair is a boat.
Having a quick look at the D3 football scoreboard and seeing if there's any blowouts as bad as this one. Number 2, Cortland is up 63-7 over Lycoming.
That's worse.
Number 13, Hardin Simmons from Texas came up to Milton to take on Curry. That's 60-14 in favor of Hardin Simmons.
Not as bad as this one.
All right, there's us. Scrolling down the live scoreboard. Thanks, D3football.com. They do such a great job.
I think I saw a 49-0 in there.
Something like that. There's a couple of finals in there. All those from last night, so that's why they're already in there.
There's that WestCon Mass Maritime game you told us about, 45-6 in favor of Western Connecticut.
WPI's 2-0. They beat Worcester by 5 last week, beat the University of New England by even more this week.
Second down, 14 now for the Falcons. Play action, LeBron under pressure, rolls to his left, looking left, lofts one to the near sideline. It's a dead duck that's going to fall incomplete, out of bounds.
LeBron's pass falls incomplete.
Pass was nowhere near any particular receiver. Feel like LeBron was probably out of the pocket.
I definitely see a 49-7. That's Springfield over Husson at the half. That's the same Husson team that put 56 on the board against Framingham last week.
I think that pass, by the way, was intended for Lozada again. He was the closest Falcon in the area. If he wasn't just throwing it out of bounds. Well, LeBron absolutely may have just been getting rid of
Third
that
and
one.
final timeout, UMass Dartmouth.
And UMass Dartmouth will take their third timeout. Give the Falcons time to think about their 3rd and 14 play, which is nice of them. I don't know. They must have an ulterior motive. Let's not think about it.
Worcester's retaking the lead, 27-21. High-scoring game after 3 quarters. Anna Maria, who will be in the MassCAC next year and everything, lead Coast Guard 38-35 at 3-quarter time.
Nice.
First week of the NESCAC, Wesleyan's beating Middlebury 21-0. I feel like Middlebury is supposed to be one of the favorites, so that feels a little surprising to me. St. Vincent's up 34-7 over Allegheny. Olivet 2015 lead over Worcester. That is actually pronounced Worcester, even though it's W-O-O-S-T-E-R.
That's cheating. You can't do that.
Then again, is our Worcester any better?
Our Worcester has character.
It's funny, both of them are spelled in ways that nobody can spell right if you told them how it's pronounced and tell them to spell it, but they are pronounced exactly the same.
Exactly.
And there's not enough blowouts to go over besides that, so.
That's a shame. 60-7 is the score here at Elliott Field as we get set for 3rd and 14. Falcons send KB in motion, fake the pass to him, handoff up the middle to Aguirre. Plenty of men in the backfield. He's not able to get back even to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 3. And I think we'll see Fitchburg State's Well, I was going to say I think we'll see Fitchburg State's punting unit,
Alexander
but,
Keaton
you know.
combined for the UMass Dartmouth hit. 4th down.
They're, of course, their territory, and they're down by 53. What's the risk in this juncture?
That's a fair point. 4th and 16 for the Falcons. Actually, we'll call it a 17. They're at the 49. They need to get to the 32. Devin LeBron from the shotgun. Under pressure, steps up, calling signals to his right, throws, jump ball, pass is caught.
Cohen makes the catch. There is a flag on the play.
It's a flag down, however. It is in the backfield, typically in the area of a hold.
Holding. Offense number 71. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is an incomplete pass. Turnover on downs. First down, UMass Dartmouth.
So it was Jack Fede. You saw it pretty clearly on the replay there. And then the pass is ruled incomplete. Cohen made the catch, but he did so out of bounds. So it's a turnover on downs. Corsairs will take over at their own 49-yard line.
What you heard, it's what you hearing. It's what you hearing. Listen, it's what you hearing. Listen, it's what you hearing.
J.C. Petrangelo, the sophomore backup quarterback, still in for the Corsairs. He'll work from the shotgun. Handoff up the middle, dancing through tackles. Getting close to and then picking up a first down is Napoleon DeBarros, the junior from Providence.
Nice game from Napoleon DeBarros. Pick up of about 11 on the play.
The Corsairs have gone so deep into their roster here that they're beyond the 2 deep, Dan.
Yep.
Corsairs 1st and 10 from the Fitchburg 40.
A common occurrence in years past.
Justin Ortega, among others, leading the hit for the Falcons. But not before DeBarros was able to pick up 11 yards and another Corsair first down. It would be 1st and 10 for them at the Falcon 40. DeBarros again. It's time out to the 35-yard line.
DeBarros.
UMass Dartmouth put 64 on Nichols last
about
week.
6 on the play.
They're looking to top that number here. One of the better teams in the MASCAC last season, preseason predicted to be #1 in the conference this year. UMass Dartmouth has wasted no time making their intentions known. Second down and 4. Petrangelo hands off to DeBarros again. He plunges through, gets a first down.
DeBarros.
Finally dragged down by Jacob Lanfer.
Gain of about 4, good for a first down.
Shout out to the Lamper family. I actually sat with them last week in Franklin.
Corsairs 1st and 10
They come up
from the
from
Fitchburg
Maryland.
30.
Probably a more fun game to watch.
It was.
But, you know, this time you get to talk about it. Has that going for it. I imagine you were talking about the game last week while you were watching it as well, but this week has the advantage of you having a microphone and an audience.
I mean, I didn't do play-by-play commentary or anything. It was nice to get a little bit of rest and just watch the Falcons as a spectator.
Dan, I say this with love. I want to preface this by saying I say this with love. I can't imagine it's possible to watch anything with you and not have you talk about it.
Jacob Lanfer.
And I do say that with love because I enjoy talking with you.
2nd and 8.
Well, that's probably a fair assessment as well.
Gain of 3 on first down for the Corsairs. Sets up 2nd and a long 7. DeBarros remains in the backfield. He'll get the carry once again. This time he bursts through the hole into the second level, and he will go into the end zone. Touchdown, Corsairs. Napoleon DeBarros.
Napoleon DeBarros
conquers the Falcon defense as the Corsairs top the point mark they put up last week Now 66-7. All smiles on the UMass Dartmouth sideline. They have come to Fitchburg and walloped the Falcons. Extra point is up and true. 6:26 to play in this one. It is a 60-point lead, 67-7 in favor of UMass Dartmouth.
How many yards of offense UMass Dartmouth has now? The answer to that
Ballpark it at 400.
480.
Okay, well, not gonna lie, I forgot a touchdown drive in there.
Falcons at 175, which is just a little under where they were last week against Dean, where they're at 199. But there are no 99-yard completions to pad that this time.
Not yet.
Could it happen in consecutive weeks? And I'm not sure I want to see that, because something terrible would have had to have happened for the Falcons to start a drive at their 1.
Yeah, but. Yeah, but, Dan. They didn't even start the drive at the 1 last time. They started it at the 4, and then it got progressively worse.
Yes, it was halved and halved again, and then multiplied by a lot.
Exactly. Patriots had a 99-yard score one time, didn't they? That was Brady to Welker on Monday Night Football, I
think so.
I'm not making that up.
Pretty sure that was actually mentioned last week in the stands when that 99-yard play happened. Again, it's only happened now 50 times in Division III history.
This time a spiraling kick will bounce at the 20, be picked up at the 15, and driven down there. I think the Falcons were waiting for that one to go out of bounds. It never quite did. They didn't get the free fair catch assigned this time. Finally just falling on it was Emilio Cabey. See, the ball just kind of died. Cabey's standing there looking at it instead of picking it up. Finally grabs it and is wrapped up by 2 different Corsairs. I think that's Kyrus Codio and Dylan Likens. So the Falcons are pinned deeper in their territory than they had been most recently. Now it's Nichols the carry on first down. He's driven backwards. Dan, we're trending toward that 99-yard touchdown. Loss of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 12 from the 12 for Fitchburg State.
You know what's really interesting? No quarterback has ever run from the 1-yard line to the opposition end zone. The longest quarterback run is a 98-yarder. And that happened in the 80s, too.
That happened in the 80s. It would have been Warren Moon?
Well, Division III.
Oh, not Warren Moon. 2nd down handoff goes up the middle for Tomas Polanco, the former Lancer of Lawrence. Gets back past the initial line of scrimmage.
Polanco, the ball carrier.
He's a graduate of Abbott Lawrence Academy, which is a part of Lawrence High School for particularly gifted students. So obviously quite solid academically.
Devon Edwards with the Corsair hit. 3rd and 10.
3rd down and 10 now for Fitchburg State. Up the middle they go again. Not much there. That time it was Oreo Fatoki, the ball carrier.
Polanco, the ball carrier. Gain of about 1, 4th down.
A couple of different Corsairs got in there. We'll give credit to Shamir Woods. Saw him wrapping up Fatoki. And Fitchburg State goes 3 and out. They'll kick it away. Long snapping's been a bit of adventure for both teams. Saw the Falcons turn it over after a particularly egregious one. This is a good snap to Hunter, the punter. And a pretty good kick. Spirals and goes out of bounds. Just outside or inside? We'll call it right at the midfield stripe.
Tell you, Dante Avila Santos sure loves fielding those punts.
Listen, he's been taken out of the game. He's got his comfortable win. 2-0 on the season. Have some fun on the sidelines.
This here's a jam for all the fellas. Try to do what those ladies tell us. Get shot down because you're overzealous. Play hard to get.
Corsairs will come back out without any timeouts, but with 4 minutes and 9 seconds to play if they want to try to break 70 in this one. I think the all-time record for points conceded by the Falcons in a game is safe, but we'll see. Handoff goes up the middle. Now bouncing it out to the outside. This is a really good run down the left side, and all the way into the end zone goes Makai Wilson. Touchdown UMass Dartmouth, one play, 50 yards, and it is 73-7 in favor of the Corsairs.
Makai Wilson just bounces out farther outside, and he walks the tightrope, stays in bounds the whole time, and is able to outrun everybody.
Just tremendous work by him on the second level, keeping those feet in bounds. Another rolled snap, but a good hold, and the extra point this time is no good.
Point is no good.
The fourth missed extra point of the game for the Corsairs. Keeps it a 66-point deficit for the Falcons, now 73-7 with 3:57 to play.
I'll have to look up, like, what's the biggest loss in the game in which the Falcons actually scored. I can tell you the biggest win the Falcons have ever had. That was 75-0.
I see.
It was about 20 years ago, during the first Patrick Avery era.
I don't know if this is a football question or a psychology question, but we're getting blown out by 66 points, so you have to answer it anyway. Somehow, for me personally, as a commentator, as an alumnus of Fitchburg State University, this does not feel as bad as, like, the 56-0 loss, that sort of thing. Is that just because I'm happy to be calling games again because it's the first game of the season? Is that just because this is a much better team than those other teams that have come in and beaten the Falcons 56-0, that sort of thing? This time, Kaibe will attempt a return, and that proves to be a bad choice as he is driven back across maybe the 10, but Kaibe did not get out even to the 15-yard line, so the Falcons will be back deep in their own territory.
I think part of it is that there have been spots of optimism. The Falcons have 15 first downs in this contest.
That's true.
They've got 175 yards of offense.
That's more than nothing.
We mentioned 2 years ago, the last time UMass Dartmouth was here, the Falcons got shut out and they finished with 23 yards of offense.
That's fewer.
It's a sense of there's definitely optimism, and then there's the fact you kind of already knew coming in this was going to be a lopsided affair. And we've been seeing a lot more personnel come into the game, a lot of different faces getting into this contest. And so part of it is just a matter of it's twos against twos in a sense.
Okay. Handoff up the middle for Nichols. He'll get himself a nice gain on first down. May I put forth my own suggestion, just for the general vibe?
Mason
All
Nichols,
right.
the ball carrier.
They're not running the flex bone.
Gain of almost 5
They are
on
not
the
running
play.
the flex bone.
It is, even though it's still bad to watch, I don't want to pretend that this has been the most tremendously
had to
thrilling
hit
football
for
game
UMass
you're ever
Dartmouth.
going to see.
Second and 5.
It is more fun to watch a team get blown out running a conventional modern style offense than literally the flex bone.
The flex bone just did not work.
It was an experiment.
Yep. For those who are new to Falcon football, the flex bone was the base formation for the Falcons 3 years ago. They once went 360 minutes without scoring.
That's true, they did.
Nichols.
Nichols is driven
Loss
back
of
for
about
most
3
of
on
what he
play.
gained on first down. He'll set up third and,
Owen Lallier.
let's be kind and
Had that
call it
hit
9.
for the Corsairs.
At third and 9
Third
sounds
and 9.
right.
Now, Mason Nichols comes to us from Hillsborough, New Hampshire, which means out of my Massachusetts, I generally know my mascots, but through the power of doing research, I can tell you that he graduated from Hillsborough Deering High School, and they are the Hillcats.
the beautiful thing about research. It can make it seem like you know anything. Third down handoff. Nichols will bounce it out, try the right side. This time he's met at the line and driven backward. Pushing back to the 11-yard line. This time the Corsairs just have guys lined up, waiting, just watching the backfield. It was Alex Santini, the first guy there. He was just watching that handoff from the whole way.
2-minute timeout.
And now,
Please set the game clock to 2 minutes.
impressively, we must stop the clock at extra time because, after all, there are 2 minutes, and we must be made aware. We must be timed out at 2 minutes. Not like cautioned in any way. I don't want anyone to be alarmed. Freddie the Falcon is running around making sure no one is alarmed. There is no danger, but there are 2 minutes remaining in the half.
But I will say, I guess one more thing is, like, with the opportunity to get more personnel in the game, try some things with different players, that's an acceptable thing. Giving up the more points, in the sense, is an acceptable loss in that regard.
Sure.
It's something, it's like, it's fine to give up another 15 to 20 points if it means getting the opportunity to get some more players some playing time and give some, and get to explore what some of the other players can do on this roster.
These are all entirely valid points. It could also be that we just have Stockholm syndrome. Like, it could just be that we've been watching this team for too long.
Combined over 30 years of Falcon watching experience between us.
God. That's a true fact, and I still refuse to believe it. Hunter Sands punting from his own end zone will bump it along the near sideline this time. Fair catch called for and made at the Falcon 46-yard line.
Hunter Remington with fair catch for the Corsairs.
Hunter Remington, meaning that we had Hunter the punt returner and Hunter the punter
Corsairs
on the field at the same time.
46.
Corsairs, 1 minute 54 seconds left, no timeouts. If there is a kind and generous God, they'll come out and take 3 knees. I don't think they will, but, you know, I'm a lapsed Catholic. What do you expect me to say? They will take a shotgun knee. We've seen the shotgun victory formation every now and then.
Some teams, they just run, they don't have the
They don't
anything.
go under center.
They don't go under center at all.
Stronglow kneels.
And so they'll take shotgun knees, and it's a team rush anyway, so it's not like Petrangelo is going to lose that on his account.
So we will see this one out, and as the Corsairs knee out the remaining minute 23 of this game, we want to let you know one more time, folks, our next broadcast here on FATV of Fitchburg State University football will be next Saturday, September the 21st, as Worcester State comes to Elliott Field. The Falcons will play host to them in what may turn out to be a battle for the wooden spoon in the MassCAC. I don't know. How's Worcester State doing? Are they still having that upset?
Let's have a look. Has Worcester State won today? Worcester State has won today by a score of 27-21.
So that will be 2 1-1 teams. As we're enjoying the final 45 seconds of my being able to say the undefeated Fitchburg State Falcons will play host to Worcester State next Saturday, a 12 noon kickoff here on FATV.
That ended up being a matchup of 2 Central Mass quarterbacks. The former Millbury quarterback was the winner over the former Clinton quarterback.
Petrangelo has taken his last knee. The game clock will expire. 73-7 is the final score. Home schedule for the Falcons getting off to not a great start. But hey, it will probably only get better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about it, you know, it's the sort of the bottom half of the conference in terms of preseason prognostications that the Falcons are going to be facing in here at Elliott Field. So this was really just, you know, the one bump in the road. Well, it's good to put a bump up at the very beginning and then smooth sailing the rest of the way. Smooth and sailing are in quotation marks.
Well, yes, this is true. It is all relative. It is worth noting that the Falcons, putting aside the fact that they got beat 73-7 today, are generally considered to be bad and therefore can lose any game. but they can also win most games, including, again, next week against Worcester State. A much more winnable game, if you're looking at the forecast, than, say, hosting UMass Dartmouth, who might well be the best team in the conference.
Yep, I think one of the other things to take away is there's a new system this year that's going to determine the NCAA tournament field. I mean, not like the Falcons were going to be in consideration to begin with, but...
Probably not. One never knows.
But
it's entirely possible, Dan, that the Falcons just rip off 8 consecutive victories, finish the season 9-1, and win the NCAA tournament. You seem to be discounting this possibility.
Not impossible.
Not impossible. Unlikely.
But
I will concede unlikely.
The point that I was going to make, though, is the system does not care if you lost. UMass Dartmouth wins by 73-7. If they'd won 8-7, it would mean the exact same thing in the system.
Okay.
It means literally, because it doesn't take into account margin of victory. A 1-point loss and a 100-point loss read the same.
Okay.
And that's what it is in the grand scheme of things, is there's a point where it doesn't really matter how much you lose by. It's just a matter of, finishing out the game, making sure everything is, nobody got hurt.
I will say, knock on wood, I didn't see anybody leave with an injury.
Nope, just a few lost helmets.
A few lost helmets, mostly by the same guy. But hey, there was one by another guy.
Yep.
So, folks, thank you so much for being here. Before we say goodbye, we want to thank one more time our tremendous crew. Our director today was Robin Como. Travis Falk, as always, running the audio and graphics and managing everything on the technical side for us. Todd Govin on replay. Evan Schackenbach and Isaiah Manuel up on the scissor lift. And Tyler Sargent down at field level. Those 3 gentlemen running cameras for us today. For Dan Bolak, I'm John Gugerty saying thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time right here on FATV.